spots and make their way into Contenders proper.
Yeah, and I mean, we've got a newcomer here with a lot of familiar faces here in Fusion Uni. We've got some Owl players on this squad, some two-way players in Shockwave and Poco. So this is going to be a treat not only for the Trials community, but also for us as casters. We get a chance to, cast some of the people that we look up to and admire in that realm. But on the other side, we've got Disaster, formerly known as Young and Beautiful. Sag face for me on that one. One of my favorite organizations here in EMEA, but we've got a lot of the players that were formerly of that team here as well. So we've got a lot to play for today. Obviously, we're in our round robin. Every team is going to play at least 5 matches here in our round robin tournament, and the top 4 will go up to Contenders proper. But, you've got to get through your 5 matches first. So we'll see what we got coming out the gate from Disaster and Fusion University.
Yep, 7 teams. It's over 7 days for this month, so we're going to continue all through this week, and then Monday and Tuesday into next week. Your 7 squads are going to be 4th Dimension and All Yeah coming up out of Open Division. Oh yeah, we'll get to that team a little bit later on today. You've got Raspberry Racer, Sheer, Cold, Old and Bored, and the team formerly Young and Beautiful coming down out of Contenders from the month of April, and then the newcomers with Fusion University. Well, the returning. I mean, it was like we had a bit of a freeze over the tier 2 scene. It was a bleak winter, and all of your favorite plants die, and then you notice there's just one little sprig coming up, this one little button. You're like, oh, that was a particularly vibrant and colorful one emerging from the soil. And their name is Fusion University as they make their return into Contenders, and I couldn't be happier. And we get to see them right out of the gate. We are starting strong with the Disaster versus Fusion U. Disaster, it's Lorenaga and Nico coming in from Young and Beautiful's squad that they were fielding in March and April, but an entirely new roster otherwise. So they lost a lot of the familiar names. Did good in March, came in second place in March, and then struggled a little bit in April, which is why they ended up back in Trials. But now they've got Henningsen and Shu leading the charge in the tank front. You've got Kage in there alongside Nico to put the hurt down, and they got momentum in Freyu coming in the support line.
Yeah, we've seen Freyu quite a few times with Angry Titans and with Revival pre-LH Cloudy days. So, there's been a lot of leaving tier 2 here. Revival also leaving the landscape as well, finding that out last night. But I mean, looking at Fusion Uni, we've got Giali, also known as Sugar Free, playing with American Tornado, winning Gauntlet and winning the EUNA show match as well. Hasn't officially been on a team since Atlanta Academy. One of the youngest players ever to be signed by an Academy team as well at the age of 13. So we are looking at one of these prodigy DPS players, and I mean, they're going to have their hands full going up against the likes of Kage and Nico for Disaster. So, I mean, if you're looking at the star power that's coming out there, you've got J. Karu. There's their journeyman tier 2 tank player. We've seen him in Uprising Academy in North America. We've seen him all over Europe. One of the nicest gentlemen that we've had a chance to talk to personally. And I mean, we're looking for them to really anchor this line with Poco, one of the better divas in the league. We were always talking about Poco bombs. Got to see them in the Kanazaka Flash Ops event as well, personally, with a beautiful Poco bomb there. So we're going to be looking to see what the tank line is going to be able to do against Disaster. Henningsen, obviously, we've seen them in the EBC majors. We've seen them, here in tier 2.5 and tier 3. Pretty good team player, pretty good tank player as well. So, I mean, there's so many storylines going on here today. I think that we have to really lean into, what are the DPS lines going to do? It's going to be Kage and Nico versus Giali and Shockwave. Shockwave, of course, also one of those two-way players playing for Fusion right now. This is going to get them the time that they need to play. So we'll see how they go.
Make no mistake, this Fusion University squad is just absolutely stacked. I mean, brimming with talent. You've got Shockwave, Poco, and Funny Astro, who are still on the Philadelphia Fusion roster, currently playing as two-way so they can get their reps in, keep competing while they're waiting for their visa issues to be ironed out and trying to make it over to Seoul and compete with the Philadelphia Fusion. But in the meantime, they are here treating us in Contenders Trials. alongside Boombox, Sugar Free, and Jikaru. And then you've got Christopher and Cruz coaching this squad. I mean, it couldn't be more stacked. This is. I'm expecting Fusion U to go undefeated through trials. I'm just throwing that out right now. The squad just does not look like they belong here. This is going to be the team to beat in EU trials. Disaster, I mean, they've got their toughest opponent right there, day one, first match out of the gate. Speaking of, those gates are opening as we start things off on Nepal in our first of 3 series.
Yep, and we're going to hear on Sanctum, and looking at the DPS lines right now, Jolly and Shockwave. I mean, it's a pure mirror going across the maps here. Bringing out a little bit of extra shielding. We're running this this Celtic Pride tank line in the Reinhardt and in the Sigma. And I mean, Shu has shown that they have this in their back pocket. We've seen them play this a couple of times in Young and Beautiful's April showing in Contenders. So, I mean, this is not a new hero to them. Let's see, though, between Shockwave and Kage, who's going to be the better of the McCrees. And there's an answer right there. Take a shootout in a hurry.
Yeah, that was a beautiful accretion rock there for Poco, and then the follow-up shot from Shockwave. I mean, just pixel perfect, right in sync with each other, as Jolly's going to get the better end of Nico, and it's going to be FU picking up first control. They've got the Reinhardt, and the same way they've got everybody alive, they can hold this door, Billy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and double shielding right here. I mean, it's going to be really tough to push past this choke. Ultimate charges, pretty even across the board for relative usage there. I mean, we've got Boombox's Amp Matrix already ready to go, so they can absolutely stop the aggression coming in from Disaster here.
Yeah, if you're just going to pull back to the bridge, find that LOS, throw in the Amp Matrix. It's going to be Frey dropping theirs first, looking for that opening pick, but Boombox does respond as we have dueling windows across the far side of Sanctum. Funny Astro gets picked off by Shu. Shu playing that flank angle just on the back end of point. And Funny Astro just steps out a little bit too far. Poco going to combine with the Deadeye. Both ultimates coming out looking for that Sky Noon. Shu left alone in the point. Shield able to block the shot as they duel it out with Poco on the objective. Meanwhile, Shockwave able to find the better end of hitting, but it looks to be the only kill. Shockwave gets another one with the Blizzard off from Jolly. They're able to stall long enough. Shockwave picks up a couple, and Poco picks up a couple, bringing this fight back.
Yeah, I mean, that was a beautiful Blizzard coming out from Jolly there. And, I mean, it was kind of an expensive fight. Jikaru does go down with the Shatter, having let loose with it. Didn't really get much value out of it. I mean, the healing just wasn't there for them. But, I mean, you're coming up on 4 ultimates here for Disaster. Shu swapping over to the Diva now. Try to mitigate a little bit more damage coming in off those flanks from Fusion University, looking for this sound barrier on tempo.
Trying to speed in, just gonna buy a little bit of space, but Disaster don't really take advantage of. They're gonna go ahead and drop down that Amp Matrix. It does get walled off by Jolly. Sound barrier thrown in for momentum as Disaster will look to move in, but they lose Henningsen on the way. Nobody makes it over to the point. Fusion University have Sanctum on lockdown.
Man, they held that bridge so well, Bull Skunk. I mean, they never allowed really any kind of aggression coming in from Disaster. We saw the one touch of the point by Shu with the Sigma, but they were never able to flip the point over. They just didn't have the staying power to really gain any kind of traction on the point. So hopefully they'll have a little bit better of a time here on Shrine. Looking, they might want to go a little bit more aerial. That's why I think Shu is going to go ahead and keep playing this Diva. However, Poco is flashing us right now a little bit of the double bubble coming out from Fusion University. Not something that you generally see here in the EMEA region, but, I mean, they obviously can play this composition. We'll see if it's going to come to their fruition here, or if they're going to get shut down by the more brawly nature of Disaster.
Yep, straight May McCree. We're all coming out from Disaster as they move to the point. Right out of the gate, Fusion Uni opting to go for this high ground. Just throw in a little bit of that poke with Shockwave and Poco. Jikaru lumbering on to the objective. Taking their time to go in and get a little bit of cleave. Jolly comes around the outside. Is able to find that kill on to Kage. Good opening pick. Large source of damage gone, and this is FEU's signal to go. They're going to push in onto Elephant. Force Disaster all the way back up off the objective just as the point unlocks. Now, they do lose Jolly on the approach. So they're a bit vulnerable here as the wall comes up, trying to block in the tanks. A lot of damage coming down, but Boombox and Funny Ash are doing a great job. Oh, I say that Jikaru goes down eventually, and Fusion Uni have to back up and give up this point.
Yeah, that's an early Nano coming out and also investing the sound barrier there as well, coming from Momentum. So they're going to play this on tempo. Big Pulse Bomb takes down Henning in the interim, but it's still a 3v1 fight here on the point. And let me tell you what, the poke battle is really strong for Fusion University right now, but Disaster is able to fight back. I'm telling you right now, Fryu is putting in a journeyman's performance in on this Baptiste.
Jikaru popping the Primal Rage, able to find 2 on the back end of that Primal, got 1 early, and that was Fusion University fighting back from a pretty significant player deficit. Decided to go ahead and invest the Nano onto Poco early. They find that opening kill onto Nico, and then a beautiful Primal Rage, though Jikaru does fall victim to Shu's bomb there. As this next fight starts to break out, Fusion University taking it all the way back. They're going to go in throwing the Graviton Surge. Sends Jikaru able to get a couple picks on the back of that. Poco and Shockwave lighting up the feed, 54% counting on the board for FU.
I tell you what, that was a wonderfully timed rally coming out from Funny Asher there. They still have the rally armor still holding them up through that. And also the Graviton Surge just to really wait out and just get more positioning, more battle into that Graviton Surge. So right now the poke is really strong coming out of Fusion University. I mean, we haven't seen Bob come out from Shockwave yet, but Gialli, this is their signature hero. This is what they owned a lot of the teams in North America on in the gauntlet. The Tracer is just absolutely filthy from Gialli.
Oh, that's a Hammer Blizzard combo coming across. That was well played by Disaster. Picking up 3 quick kills, and they're going to flip this point not a moment too soon, Billy.
I mean, I tell you what, they're winning certain fights in the neutral, and I mean, I don't think they were really expecting to see that kind of combination come out from Disaster. It's exactly what they needed. This is last fight territory. Disaster is going to have to hold this point for, another 70% to see them tie us up here in Nepal. Momentum coming up on a sound barrier. That's going to be their staying power into this next fight.
Jikaru receives the Nano Boost, goes in, pops the Primal Rage into the bolt, gets frozen up, but not taking really any significant damage. Still at about half health as the bomb is invested on the point. Nice stick coming in from Gialli. Oh, it doesn't net the kill just yet, but enough damage was done. Point gets flipped. I don't think Disaster has time to even get back in touch. They're all still in spawn, and that's going to be Fusion University starting off Trials Week with a bang. And a 1-0 lead in our series.
Yeah, I mean, just the aggression, the coordination coming out from them was just absolutely massive. You can see the comms in their play right now. And I'm telling you what, Gialli, for not having played officially on a team for quite some time, came out the gate swinging. And Jikaru's Winston was just a treat to watch. I love the double bubble variant coming out of them. They can play any comp they want right now. They just showed to me that they can run the double bubble, they can run the rush, they can run the brawl if they want to. They can run it. They can hit you from range. They can get up in your face. It doesn't matter what they want to do right now. They can do it and they can succeed at it. So we're going to see what kind of adaptations that we're going to see out of Disaster because, whilst they, did get 0-2'd there, they did show some signs of life. They did show some really nice coordinated team play coming out. So it's not entirely lost for them right now. But I mean, you were to set it in the beginning, Fusion University should 3-0. They should go undefeated through trials with the lineup that they have. And just seeing that off the back, I mean, it's going to be a struggle for Disaster, but I still have faith. I mean, these are teams, these are players that we've seen across the tier 2.5 landscape. And Loreniga, as their coach, is one of the best in the industry. So, I mean, allez, let's see what you got, mes amis.
Absolutely, and I anticipate the Disaster will make it on into Contenders proper as well. I doubt this will be the only time these two teams will clash. But, I mean, Fusion U coming out as expected. Two dominant victories, 100-0 on Sanctum. Disaster was able to get a little bit of percentage there on Shrine, but not a whole lot. I mean, it was about, 35% or so?
Yeah.
I mean, that did have a good fight. The Shatter Blizzard fight, I mean, it was great coordination. They came in, they found their kills immediately, knew exactly what they wanted to do and executed on that win condition. But the squad from Fusion University, they're they're not afraid to invest when they're down. They know their win conditions, even if they're not immediately apparent. Even if you lose your main tank early, they have the wherewithal. They know exactly what they need to do to secure those 5 wins. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to put this team on the back foot.
I mean, it is, and having the Tracer there as well. It never felt like they were too far away from being able to contest the point because of the presence of Giali on the Tracer. Also, looking at Jkaru on the Winston had the ultimate, mobility there. I mean, rocket jumps get you pretty far if you know how to measure your jumps and stuff like that. I'm still learning how to do that to this day. But obviously, these players obviously are much better than I am at playing Winston, and I love the fact that that they just really do have that ability to touch. They can tag in, they can touch, they can recontest, they can and pull back. So yep. I mean, just the fact that they had all that going for them, I'm really looking forward to seeing, as we go into more of the traditional maps here, how do they work this coming out? What does Disaster have in the tank to be able to challenge them? Because Henningsen versus Jkaru on the wins or on the Reinhardt, they were kind of even. I think that in the off-tank battle, I think that Shu kind of got outplayed by Poco. And I mean, I don't see why that's not even an issue right there, because I mean, Poco is one of the best in the league. Personally, for me, I've always been a Poco fan. I mean,
he's been playing in Overwatch League for 3.5 years. Like, Poco, yep. I mean, truly knows what he's doing. One of the most infamous off-tank players in the entirety of the game. As we take a look at our map pool, Disaster have chosen King's Row. Now, your loser does not only get to pick the map, but the game type here in Trial. So they've chosen to go to Hybrid. We're headed to King's Row right out of the gate. This is going to get brawling.
It is going to get brawling. This is going to be Henningsen versus Jkaru. And who's going to have the better Reinhardt if they decide to go into that mirror matchup. We saw Poco putting out a pretty darn serviceable Zarya as well. I mean, Poco's known for their diva, but their Zarya is pretty solid as well.
The Sigma looked great too.
The Sigma, yeah. I mean, I think Shu actually had a better Sigma than Poco, just based off of what we saw in the feed and what we saw as terms of utility. Just try to play the flank too much there on Nepal. I think if you stay with the team just a little bit more, you get more value out of it. The kinetic grasp and the accretion, obviously massive tools in the kit of a Sigma. So, do we see the Celtic Pride tank line come out for them, or do we see the Ryan Zarya? Do we see the Ryan Diva running with the McFlurry DPS comp? So, I mean, it's all to play for. I love where we're sitting at right now with the meta, with the state of the game right now. It's so fluid, and I that's my favorite thing right now is that it's just so fluid. I can talk about this all day long because this is my bread and butter, and I mean, it puts a massive smile on my face just thinking about, you can literally play pretty much anything you want here. Save, maybe a Roadhog because you're just an ult battery. But I mean, literally everything else is on the board. You can play the Widowmaker here. You can play Symmetra here. You can play Bastion here if you want to. It just depends on what kind of damage are you trying to do? What kind of pathing are you looking to do? Where are you trying to set up your positioning? Where are you trying to set up your defense? What are you trying to, get out of your comp? And if you understand your own personal win condition in these moments, then I think you can pretty much do anything here. I mean,
it's how do you best take advantage of the geometry, right? The map is just determined so much, just dictates so much as far as compositions go in this day and age of Overwatch. And I love it. I agree with you 100%. It puts a giant smile on my face.
So, I mean, coming out from Fusion University here on the defense, they are going to bring out Poco on the signature Diva. We've also got I said you could play Bastion. Well, here, I know. Okay, I got a little debated there. I was gonna be very happy. Throw the wall up with the Bastion.
Shockwave doing some Billy service there.
I know they love me, but I mean, still, McFlurry comp coming out here. This is a standard meta stuff right now. Looking really to mitigate damage, be able to throttle between high and low ground for Poco and Boombox. Boombox, looking to see them get into a nice space of safety and be able to just rain that healing down.
Disaster coming out with the same McFlurry brawl composition we've all come to know and love in recent days. This is, of course, a battle of cooldowns. How you best utilize the May wall, the defense matrix. As you can see, a little tiny Overwatch going on inside the statue. Mortality field out early for Freyu. as Disaster try to back up into the house. I don't know if they're going to make it. Hitting is so low. Freyu's the one that actually gets picked off. Kage does get a kill on the Funny Astro. That's a big pick on one of the best Lucios in the world. And that's going to slow down rotations for FU. It could be an opportunity for a power play for Disaster.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I thought Henning was done. I mean, like maybe 10 health, but look at the icicles coming out of Gialli. They're just taking Nico in the dome, and that's an early amplification matrix coming out.
It did in a great wall. Henning's not going to survive that one. Kage gets caught off at Hotel as well. Shu's not going to make it out, and that's Fusion University building a lot of ultimates right now.
Poco was very hungry there for some kills and got exactly what they wanted out of it. Nice walls. I mean, this is really a lot more about the wall management and the wall placement and angles of the walls rather than it is, you know, all the cooldowns that we're talking about here. This could be an absolutely filthy self-destruct if Poco wants to do it. I think they were thinking about it there, but really I'm looking for, you know, Blizzard to come out here, you know, out of the DM of Shu, see what they can get out of this, really stop the aggression coming in, because they're about halfway through their first or halfway through their attack phase here, and they haven't gotten any permanent progress yet.
No, not yet. It's going to be Shockwave starting things off with the Deadeye. Maywall up from Nico is, it looks like Disaster are trying to decide which way they want to go. Trying to out-rotate. This decision-making is so important. They're going to head back towards house. Oh, Gialli with another headshot with the icicle. Just absolutely pinpoint accurate with those things. And a very important pick. That's going to be a 3-man shatter coming through. Boombox does not get the immortality field up in time. Dueling Blizzards and Disaster have managed to crack open point A. Henning does fall to that Poco bomb. But that's going to be a little more than a consolation prize for Fusion University.
One small sliver of toe in the Blizzard freezes the entire German mech band. But, you know, it is what it is. They did get destroyed by that Poco bomb. So, you know, you did see the value out of it. But now there's going to be a lot of ultimates online for Disaster going through Streets phase. We're going to see Fusion Uni. If they can set up under Archway here and just hold the line here, the walls are going to be absolutely imperative coming out of Gialli here. But you do have Deadeye from Kage, and I would like to see maybe a little bit of a rotation here from them. See if they can get behind the team and really turn the focus to help them get through Archway.
Kage trying to put some shots down from afar right now. Just staying a couple of meters behind that Reinhardt at all times. Double damage on the board. Funny Astro's going to go ahead and drop that sound barrier as Kage finally decides to channel up that Deadeye. Shoot throw it in self-destruct is going to force Fusion University back up a little bit. Shockwave channeling their own ultimate. There's defense matrix and shields, all kinds of in the way. Henningson's got that shatter up finds too. Boombax and Jal immediately drop under that hammer. And it's another great ult fight win for Disaster, and they're going to continue moving through Streets.
Yeah, and I mean, Henning showing us an even better performance on Reinhardt here on King's Row. I was not aware that they had this, honestly, in their playbook. The play has been absolutely fantastic coming out of them today. Looking at Nico coming up on yet another Blizzard, actually lapping Gialli here in that department. The ult rotations right now is really in favor of Disaster, other than the Amp Matrix, which is about to come out here from Boombox.
Yeah, not only the Amp Matrix, but you're going to have Blizzard online as we speak. Nico gets theirs up as well. We're going to get the Battle of the Blizzards. See if our divas are feeling hungry as Amp Matrix comes out on the back end. Looks like that immortality field from Boombox got blocked by a wall. Jay Karu is going to fall after charging onto Nico. Shockwave answers back, is able to find a couple. They've got momentum, just kind of trapped up against that wall. That's going to be a fight win and a hold for FU.
Yeah, and I mean, you invested both your support ultimates in that last fight. Kind of a little bit of a rush there on their support ultimates, so they're going to be absolutely trailing here now. Fusion University has their own sound barrier to defend against this upcoming Blizzard from Nico. I mean, Poco right now could throw in a cheeky bomb to stall this even further. You're looking at sub 90 seconds here, Bullskunk. Gialli, this Blizzard could win them the map. We'll see how they decide to deploy.
I think this is a super important fight for Disaster. This Blizzard has to get value from either side, but from Nico in particular, they've got to beat Gialli's Blizzard and get more value out of that one. Kage starting things off strong, finds that kill on the Funny Astro. Sound barrier off the table. Poco does indeed eat Nico's Blizzard. That could be disastrous as Jolly's able to find Henningsen with theirs. Self-destruct out from Poco just buys a little bit of time. It's still a +1 for Disaster, who is on the attack, mind you, despite being on the back end. Shockwave returns to the fight, and it's a 4v4. Funny Astro comes flying in with the sound barrier, able to get Boombox topped up. Shockwave does go down. She's going to invest in self-destruct just for a moment of breathing room. In fact, finds Funny Astro with that self-destruct. Good follow-up kill by Henningsen, and Disaster are manning to edge this one out. Just a tenacious battle. And they will finally pick up point B, but holy cow, Fusion University made them work for it.
Oh man, they did make them work for it. They also stole so much time out of the time bank of Disaster. Still, a fight win is a fight win, and they're going to go ahead and cruise in here with a little bit more than 90 seconds left to go. You're going to have both the Deadeye and the Shatter into your next fight. Karu, let's see who gets the better Shatter here, Bullskunk, because they've been battling it out. They've been swinging hammer to hammer pretty much all around.
Yeah, Henningsen's won a couple of fights with that Earth Shatter already on this attack. Disaster needs 1 year. I mean, if they die quick, they might get another chance, but this is approaching final fight territory. Nico with a great opening pick interrupts that Deadeye. The Shatter gets blocked, and the counter Shatter finds 3. Brayu's able to get the Immortality Field up. Eat! And there's a Shu this time eating that Blizzard, as Jolly throws it right in the defensive matrix. Couple kills coming through as Disaster finally break through that front line, and they start pushing it in. What a massive eat on that Blizzard. Holy cow, Billy.
I mean, both divas here wanting their dessert and having it too, so they've done exactly what they need to do. What a boop. Oh my word, that was almost disastrous for Disaster, and now it's all about the cleanups here. Less than 30 seconds to go here in our round. There's a self-destruct coming out of Poco.
Yep, there's an Immortality Field in the way. Poco cannot get back in mech. Funny Astro's going to get taken out. They're trying to stall to overtime, and they've only got 20 seconds left to do it, but they're not going to make it. 20 seconds remain on the clock as Disaster finds 3 points on the board.
Let's see if that ends up really serving them well after the end of Fusion University's attack phase. I mean, great push, great clapback as well coming from Disaster after getting skunked on Nepal. They've done absolutely what they needed to do. They got in with full 3 points with time on the clock as well. Man, Henning versus Jankaro is starting to turn into my even better subplot here, because the Reinhardt's absolutely owning space, taking the shatters as they can. And just the wonderful shield management of both of them. Both of them getting a block shatter. Both of the off tanks having blizzards for dessert as well. So, I mean, a little bit of recognition coming out from Disaster and from Fusion University of how impactful these blizzards truly are. And their divas are trained to eat blizzards on site. So, really, I love what Disaster did there. They came out there, they punched him in the face, and they didn't take no for an answer. I mean, they got stalled. And just, never gave up. And that's something that I love to see from these teams. When people put their back puts up against the wall, when they start getting pushed around, do they have the answer to come back and really take it to the other team? Disaster says yes. So Fusion University showing us a little bit different work here. I mean, if they keep with this, really, it's going to be on Shu to eat these nades coming into the team.
Does look like Fusion University are going to stick with the double bubble comp. Shockwave Teleporter is just going to get Poco up onto the high ground of Theater. Jikaru moving over to Statue as this double bubble composition is looking to gain multiple angles. Trying to open up a crack in the defense, get some shots down through the shield, through the defense matrix. They do force out an early Immortality Field that could come back to bite Disaster.
Well, and the other thing is that Shu's going to have to is really going to be in trouble here, because you've got 2 beam weapons coming into you. The DM won't do anything to save that. And I mean, once Poco gets charged up, that's going to be all they wrote.
Yeah, Poco's in a lot of trouble. Shockwave is able to get Freyu off their back. Poco does eventually fall, backing up into the house. But it was a smart way to go down. You force all Disaster inside, and now the rest of Fusion University are just going to pounce on that door as they emerge. Momentum and Henningsen falling as that attack comes through. Fusion University already with 2 ticks on the board.
Yeah, what an amazing nade coming in from Boombox. Got 3 of them antied, and they just cleaned up on the back of that. There was nothing that Friday Momentum could do there. So, I mean, the choices, the compositional differences between these two teams right now, I mean, especially Shockwave on this Hanzo, going to be able to see not only where they are coming from, but also, you know, you're going to have the ability to poke from range. Disaster wants to close the distance, and Shockwave's like, nay, I'm good, fam. I'm going to stay back here and just keep putting my tree trunks in your domes.
Give me the nano boost on Jikaru to initiate this fight. Primal Rage at the ready. Makes it to the other side of the Ant Matrix and finds that kill onto Henningsen. Now going in, looking for some squishies. Has Kage in their sights, but gets frozen up. It's a lot of damage. Goes down. Jolly comes in, finds two. One with the focusing beam, one with the primary fire, and the three remaining members of Disaster are trying to retreat.
They're trying to retreat. They're trying to just get their heads back on straight because it's just being jolted around by the twin hammers of Jkaru and Giali. They're just coming at them from all different angles here.
Nice move from Jkaru to get out of there. It was sub 100 health for a moment, but Funny Astro right there with the beam of healing. And Fusion University now just playing patient. They're holding this corner. They're not getting too aggressive. It's Henningsen coming back in on the ball as Disaster tries to stall it out at the end of point B. Ant Matrix down in the back. Fusion University just LOS it back around the corner.
Yeah, they're going to chase Henning down and eventually maybe get the kill unless they use the tech to get out of there. Deadeye coming out from Kage, though.
Oh, the duplicate into the Diva, but the defense matrix was just a touch too early. Gets taken out of it immediately. But Shockwave lands the flurry of shots. Blizzard comes out, and it does buy them a kill on to Funny Astro, but I think that's going to be the only one. Into the back, self-destruct finds Shockwave. It's 2 kills on the board for Disaster, but they're still fighting from a player deficit. Both tanks up, buying time, and the Graviton Surge coming in to try to take those tanks down. They are going to get the kill on the Shu. Momentum found themselves caught up into that as well. Henningsen doesn't have the life to stall this out. 2 points on the board.
Yeah, but I mean, big immortality field coming out there from Frey, keeping Kage up, but it's going to eventually go down to the sticky bombs of Giali. And now the push is real. Poco getting very aggressive here, trying to push on the side here, looking for his support and getting it. This is all about momentum right now, Bullskunk. They have a full head of steam, and they are pushing into the end of point B here, or point 3 here.
Yep, holding the door, get that kill onto Henningsen. All the while, the cart is just drifting around with 2 people on it. Fusion University, no, they don't have much to be concerned about. I think. Oh yeah, Henningsen making that swap over to the Reinhardt, just immediately getting decimated. Here comes the Primal Rage, holding at the door. Takes a lot of damage. Jkaru has to back out of there. Frey's Ant Matrix bought a lot of space for Disaster to finally move out and make a proper contest on the back of point C. Henningsen taking a lot of damage. Immortality filled is on the battlefield, but Henningsen's not in. It gets taken down. Jolly able to find that kill with the focusing beam. Kage does pick up Shockwave in the back, so that's a lot of that long-range damage now absent, but she was demeched, deleted off the battlefield. Jumping in. Nico needs to stay alive, cannot. It's the bio name from Boombox and Nano Boost on to Poco. Throwing out the Graviton Surge. It's going to close out this map in a massive time bank for Fusion University.
Yeah, 3 minutes 5 more than what you see from Disaster. So Disaster is going to have to be playing, the most aggressive heroes that they can. They need to get 1 pick potential heroes coming out from them right now because they've only got a minute to do anything here in the extra innings of King's Row. Fusion University never really got punished there at any time. There was a little bit of a stall outside the second corner here on point B, but other than that, it was complete go from them, and Disaster did not have an answer. They didn't have anything to really stop them with heading. Really tried to do what they could with the Wrecking Ball, and it got a lot of attention from Fusion University, but it didn't stop them. So I think Nico's got to have some better walls here if they're playing on this May, because there was nothing to really stop the aerial threat of Giali on that Echo. I mean, I tell you what, I hadn't seen Giali in the games that I watched, trying to get a little bit of backstory on this player. Did not see them play the Echo, so this is a wrinkle that I was not expecting, and very pleasantly surprised with how they performed on that hero. Shu has their handful right now. They were trying to take care of anti-nades, Giali, and Poco all in the air and with the anti-nades, and I mean, they just had a hard time during that round.
Yeah, Shu, I do not envy their position. So much on their plate to try to manage. And Fusion University is doing a good job of throwing things at him from every angle, making Shu's life very difficult indeed. as Disaster are going to come in through Theater and work their way up to the high ground.
Yep, and I mean, this is a smart rotation coming from them right now. Just slow and methodical, trying to cross the gap here. Get some spam damage in, but I tell you what, Gialli is getting so much value on this Mei right now. Already 50% to their Blizzard.
Yeah, just throwing those icicles into the pack. Already seen a couple of wicked headshots come out from Gialli, a.k.a. Sugar Free. Moving in, trying to get aggressive. Fusion University used their Immortality Field. But Ant Matrix comes out. They got to back out of there. Jakaru can't escape, can't get around the corner in time. Trying to bring it back. Ant Matrix out from Boombox as the dramatic music starts. Overtime is going to burn. Disaster playing things a little slow. They're not pursuing that opening kill. They're not pursuing that advantage. Jakaru has time to get back into this fight. Poco does get demeched as the Blizzard's thrown into the corner. Now the counter Blizzard coming out from Gialli right over the point. Momentum still frozen up. Freyu was frozen up. Somehow they both managed to survive. Sound barrier in from Funny Astro. The counter barrier thrown in from Momentum with a 2-player advantage. This should be Disaster's point. They've already got almost 90% of it.
Yep, and there's the kills coming through right there. Beautiful work out of Disaster. The patient play there to be able to just toe the line back and forth, be able to keep extending that overtime meter. And now, you know, they're not going to be able to leave the payload alone here at all. We're all in overtime, one push off of the point, and that's going to be all she wrote for Disaster. It's all about getting it as far as you can now, and they have to worry about the Poco self-destruct. That's going to be the win condition here for Fusion University to clear them off the point. Does Henning maybe take a suicide bomb to allow the rest of his team to stay on the point, or do they somehow focus down Poco early? That's a horrible loss in the beginning.
Oh man, how does Funny Astro even find that kill? What an insane opening pick and a huge advantage for the defense. Self-destruct on it from Shu. Henningsen, oh, with the shatter! They're able to get 4 with the self-destruct initiated by Henningsen's shatter. Big plays from the take line of Disaster.
Oh my word, that was exactly what they needed. Oh my word, Gong of Death as well. So this is going to be a nice bit of push here for Disaster. That's exactly what they needed. However, Fusion University coming in with their own self-destruct and the Ant Matrix, they're going to be able to get a contest here. Freyu versus Boombox in the Ant Matrix department. Let's see who comes out on top here.
What a clutch play. Oh my goodness. I'm still reeling from that combo. That was awesome. It's going to be Freyu dropping the Ant Matrix first on the back of point B. Fusion University just going to sit outside. Wait for that to go down. Kage greets them with a Deadeye upon their return. Immortality Field gone. Jikaru gone. Poco drops a self-destruct on the point, but speaking of, there's 5 of them on the board for Disaster.
Yeah, I mean, last second heroics there notwithstanding, you know, that's a great take there. They have the opportunity now to get this all full 6 points here in their overtime. Reminder, they started the journey of this payload in overtime. They've been in overtime the entire time, doing the quick remech back in spawn just to get themselves back into the mech, resetting their economy, but that's okay because it's all about how far you can push right now. They can actually go in on momentum with the sound barrier.
Gotta be careful of Jolly's Blizzard, though. Eat here would be just incredibly clutch from Shu. Nope, Blizzard makes it out. That's both tanks frozen up. Shadow thrown in from Henningsen doesn't find much. And Henningsen struggling to stay alive right now. But it's Jikaru, he gets focused down. Freyu with the final blow. And Henningsen still on their feet on this Reinhardt. Poco going into the back, but it's taking fire from all angles. Gets demeched immediately. You saw Funny Astro try to go in and help out, but there was just no room to work. Kage is keeping this on lockdown. Momentum and Freyu doing a phenomenal job of keeping Henningsen and Shu alive.
Sheesh, as they all say nowadays. Oh my goodness, that is a flashbang from hell there. And now the eye dude, oh yes, it's all 6 points. They weren't able to get back in touch. That was massive from Kage. Hello, welcome, young man. You're here in trials and absolutely showing up and showing out. That was amazing coming out of Disaster. They only had a minute, Bull Skunk, and they got the full 6 points. This is all to play for. Fusion have to match them now.
I mean, that's a full 6 points against 3 Overwatch League players. Not former, current Overwatch League players. Kage winning that duel against Shockwave. Like, you can just hear Disaster beating their chests right now. They've got to be just so excited. Like, that was an incredible showing. They've just erased that 3-minute deficit they had in the time bank.
I'm puffing my chest out for Kage there. I mean, smiles abound here on my face. And look at this, Fusion University going back to what they had tried and true on their attack phase themselves. I think Shu is going to be under massive duress here once again. We talked about it when they went into overtime, and now, you know, we're looking at it here again. How do you solve the twin threat of Boombox and Giali? Not to mention Shockwave pouring in tree trunks from, you know, long distance. Nico might have to have a bit of an eye on Giali, especially, and Boombox secondarily.
Yeah, and back to eating those bionades like you were talking about on Fusion University's first attack. Shu's got to have their head on a swivel, have that DM on a swivel for that matter. Fusion University coming back with that same double bubble poke composition. Shockwave moves over to the Hanzo after the initial teleport. Jkaru getting aggressive, just going up mainstream right out of the gate while half the team moves to the high ground, trying to poke down from above. In fact, that's Poco and Giali up there alongside Funny Astro, who's damage boosting that Echo. You can see Shockwave working in from statue, and once again, Fusion University trying to post up in multiple positions. And once again, Kage gets the better end of Shockwave, comes in with the flash fan, and Jkaru goes down. But Kage is just absolutely woken up, taking it to another level on King's Row.
Yeah, and I loved that rotation. You saw them kind of, you know, kind of flashing it, kind of, you know, saying, okay, I think I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this. Going behind the team and picking out the poke from range. That is exactly what they needed to do. But now, you know, shield management right now for Henning, they're going to give up maybe a tick or two here to get a full team reset and get that shield back up to full health, and then go back in for the recontest.
Kage gets taken out of their Deadeye. A little revenge from Shockwave. And Henningsen super low, has a nanoed Winston at their back. Didn't even see Jkaru there. Jkaru just gives them a little tickle and a hello, and back to spawn goes Henningsen. This card's going to get rolling.
Yeah, absolutely is. And I mean, that was beautiful work from Fusion University. I tell you what, Shockwave was kind of ticked that they got picked off in the neutral there in their back line, you know, thinking that they were safe from any kind of aggression coming from Disaster. But, you know, 220 to get through Streets phase. So, you know, Disaster, I think they pull up to the bookstore here, really take it to Jkaru. They do have the Primal Rage to really, you know, keep the pressure on, keep themselves in the fight if they get down really low. Boombox did invest the nano into that last fight, so that's one, you know, shining beacon for Disasters, that they don't have to worry about that nano boost coming out.
They got to worry about this duplicate from Jolly. Not to mention the Primal Rage. Jkaru getting angry, going into the back, and Henningsen goes down. Dragon's invested in from Shockwave as well. Nico's Blizzard comes out late, and it's not going to be enough to stop Fusion University.
Nope, and I think they might want to have that one back, and it's because especially that you've gotten the res up there, so you're a full 6 coming in here for Fusion University. I love the fact that Jkaru was using the Primal Rage to push the members of Disaster back into Shockwave's Dragons. They thought they had kited away from it. Nene says, I'm going to slap you back in there and get you a little more tickle from the Dragons. There's a last second complete here. Shu does have self-destruct online as well.
They'll have that sound barrier to counter. Poco's grab the duplicate used onto the Reinhardt. 3 takes on the field for Fusion University. They look to cap point B. They're running into an Ant Matrix, but they're not backing out this time. They're going headlong into it fearlessly. Throw it down the Shatter. That's 4 on the floor, courtesy of Giali. But the follow-up's not quite there. Graviton Surge invested in, and still Fusion University do not have any kills. It's hitting, coming up with 2 on Jkaru. Rez gets denied. Funny Astro taken down by Freyr.
That is exactly what they needed, and you know what is also awesome into this Bullskunk? They did not commit the self-destruct, so they have that most important of staying abilities to keep them in the fight. Disaster will have a massive ability to hold Fusion University entire series up. Blizzard and everything else on the board here for Disaster coming into this fight. Shockwave's going to have to let loose with these Dragons very soon.
There's no grab to couple with a Poker spin in that in the last fight. Shockwave Boombox Gonna have to put up a big show. It's gonna be the Nano Boost on J-Car to start things off. That'll build up the rest of the Primal Rage. Blizzard used onto J-Car just to deny that, but here come the Dragon. Self-destruct from Shu! Brings it back, it's a +1. That is negated, 3v3 on the point. You've got Poco alive alongside Jolly. Well, never mind, there goes Jolly. And Poco is down, Disaster. They do it, they hold off Fusion University in a spectacular run on Kings Row and tie up the series.
Oh my word. You know, we were talking about this should be easy work coming out for Fusion University. I told you, these members of Disaster, they have played together somewhat, you know, after April's Contenders season. You know, they disbanded as an organization, but the team stayed together. The coaching staff stayed with a lot of these players. They got some new faces in there, but the core of the team, La Renega, has this team ready to go. We are tied up 1-1 in our first day of trials. We are coming out the gate strong.
Oh my goodness, what a statement from Disaster. We're going to take a short break. We're going to hydrate. I know I need to hydrate after that exciting Kings Row. But we'll see you on the other side. See if Disaster can keep this momentum up and take a lead in the series. We'll find out when we return. Just like a quick look behind the scenes there. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. All right. Oh yeah. No, apologies for the little extra delay. We had to wait for Billy to go get a tissue. His allergies are kicking his butt, and well, Fusion University kind of got their butt kicked on that last map. Disaster came out in extra innings, and wow, did they turn it up a notch. We're all tied up.
We are all tied up, and I tell you what, we leaning into the DPS storyline right now. Kage showing up huge for Disaster, taking Shockwave out of the plays multiple times there. The flashbangs were huge. The rotations and the flanks coming from Kage as well, keep catching Shockwave unawares. And there was really no answer for them in the overtime period. I mean, Kage showing up massive there in the overtime, stopping the push coming out of Fusion University. They win 6-4 in our overtime there. And I mean, I'm just telling you right now, going to Watchpoint Gibraltar as our next map. I want to see if Kage has the Ash or has, the range to be able to play the McCree here on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Different set of circumstances here. I'm expecting to see Double Bubble come out from Fusion University again, because they are absolutely very well versed at playing this right now. So I want to see what kind of an answer will they have. Maybe bringing out a Sombra might be an answer here for Disaster. I don't know if they have that in their bag of goodies. But we shall see when we come out here as we head to Watchpoint Gibraltar Bull Skunk. We saw, the Double Bubble. Boombox putting in a huge performance on that Ana was really a thorn in the side. I think Shu took a lot more care of the team in regards to those anti-nates coming in. We will see Disaster come out on the attack here. So Fusion University wanting to defend first. They want to see what kind of a benchmark they're going to have to meet here in Gibraltar. And I mean, you can play the Double Bubble offense and defense here. I think that's their best composition right now. I don't think they want to take the Reinhardt mirror right now, because Henning absolutely holding their own in the main tank department. We're going to see actually possibly answering mirror matchup coming out of Disaster. I've not seen Fryu play the Ana since their AT days. So we'll see what kind of work they have gotten done on the Ana, and we'll see if it's anything that they have upgraded since that time. I did see Gialli flashing their favorite hero, the Tracer, so that's going to be another thorn in the side. If you're going to run the Ash and the Tracer, you're going to have the Poke and the Dynamite from range, and then you're going to have that little pest running around your backline haranguing your supports. So Fryu is going to have their head on a swivel. Once again, Shu's going to have to be able to come back and get that kite back for the supports. So there are two different matchups that they're going to have to be looking at. They're going to have to be looking at the backline support for Disaster, and then they're going to have to be trying to deal with the long range of Shockwave on the Ash. And Shockwave has shown that they have a very lethal Ash, not only in Owl, but also in all the other competitions that we've seen them in. So I think I heard our producer say that they're going to swap sides. So we'll see Fusion University come out on the attack, and we'll see Disaster coming out on the defensive. I heard that correctly.
Yes, because Disaster got to choose sides since they were the winner of the previous map. It sounds like they wanted to defend first, which does make sense. Can be a little bit easier to hold a position than to try to take it. And you know what Fusion University is going to run out with. They're going to play Double Bubble. Like they showed us Double Bubble on King's Row, on where you expect to be just brawl all day, every day, and they're coming out with the Winston Zarya. So and then choosing Watchpoint Gibraltar, there was no doubt on what Fusion University are going to roll out here with. It's just what is the answer. I know we saw Kage showing us a little bit of the McCree there. I think it's going to be a little tough to run on Watchpoint Gibraltar, particularly if Shockwave does come out on that Ash that you were talking about.
Well, I mean, it just depends on what your second DPS is going to be, because, I mean, the McCree can be the peel instead of Shu for the backline in dealing with the Tracer, with the Flashbang and the Flash Fan after that. Right. So we'll see how they decide to play this, because that's what really the matchup's going to be. It's going to be DPS versus DPS. The tanks are just going to make the space. They're going to have the utility of the bubbles, and I mean that's the other secondary matchup. There is who's going to win out in the Zarya war. Who's going to be able to have the better bubble management? Who's going to be able to keep their charge up as well? So, I mean, we've got them coming out on the attack now. So Disaster showing us this double bubble. Nico coming out on the Tracer. So Tracer v Tracer duel.
I'm anticipating it.
I'm anticipating it too. I know that Jolly's showing us the Doomfist right now, but I anticipate them swapping over to the Tracer. Seeing them play against Odyssey, not only in the winners final, they took the Tracer 1v1 many times with Malthal and won it 9 times out of 10. So there was only one fight that they lost, and that was because there was a self-destruct, and they just really didn't have the positioning to be able to deal with it. So out the gates they come. Gialli's going to go ahead and teleport them over to the other side, and then swap over to their own Tracer.
Yeah, Jolly, a.k.a. Sugar Free. I mean, it's a downright mythic figure in T2 Overwatch. It's already with a storied history at 16. This young American always has a huge impact whenever they rear their head. And by the way, they're also playing competitively in Valorant right now. I mean, what a Chad. You're playing at this level in 2 separate games. Are you kidding me? Look at this, Jolly already getting work done. 50% towards that first pulse bomb. As both teams clash hard in this tiny room, Jakaru goes down, and Fusion University just kind of gets stuck on the bridge.
Yeah, but I mean, holding on top of box here is exactly what they need to do. Kage getting a lot of assistance there. Coming out from Fryu. Fryu almost has their nano boost already available, so Jakaru is going to have Henning's going to have a lot of staying power into this next fight.
Yep, nano boost used immediately. Funny Astro had a lot of trouble, cannot get out of there. Now just building up towards that Primal Rage, but that was a huge chunk of damage. Shockwave able to get some headshots down, and Henning falls. Fusion University are going to regroup and be able to push here.
Yep, and Bob's going to be available in the next fight as well as the Pulse Bomb. That's what I'm looking for from Fusion University. I think you throw Bob out to really dislodge and keep Nico honest, and then you get Gialli in there to try and probably land it onto momentum and see if they can back it up into Fryu.
Nico in the back looking for Shockwave right now, opts out of that duel, and decides to go Mark Gialli on the point. Both of them with pulse bombs ready to go. Jakaru on the objective as the Deadeye comes in from the defense, out of server room, doesn't find anything. Grab, pulse bomb into the mix. Able to get a couple kills with that. It's actually Shockwave lighting up the feed while I believe it was Gialli just escorted the point home. They kept Disaster held in server.
Yeah, and they murdered them in the server room too. So, I mean, late stagger kills there for Fusion University is going to mean a lot of free push here. For Fusion University, Disaster does have their pulse bomb still ready to go. Answering Poco's grab will be Shu up next in their next team fight. Beautiful dynamite there coming in from Shockwave to start the push back. Nice coach gun to keep heading off the high ground. So high ground control here taken by Fusion University, and they're going to have this rally to really beef them up going into this next fight.
Jakaru dropped down, so it opened things up and he went and dislodged Shockwave. But Jakaru's got several members caught in a small room. Primal Rage, Poco with 2 final blows after the initial damage, and there's going to be more to come. They're not done yet. Pick up 1. Zarya is very low. Shu goes down. That is a clean team fight win. Will be 2 points on the board for Fusion Uni.
Oh, Bullskunk, they completely devalued the Graviton Surge as well. So this is all that they need right now. Oh my gosh. Fryu trying to do the lemming and get off the side there. And yeah, the staggers are real. I mean, just lots of extra charge coming in here for both Gialli and Shockwave into their next fight. Poco's going to have a grab again. That is some serious ult generation from Poco. Not unexpected, just that's even faster than normal. Nico has not let loose with this pulse bomb yet.
No, but Gialli's got another one. By the way, that was a 6 sleep dart from Boombox to stall out Shu a little bit. That was insane. Henning jumping onto the point. Rally drop from the defense. That pulse bomb does come out, misses its mark. They do end up finding that kill on Jakaru. And Henning's going to drop the Primal and take out Boombox. So that's the Ana and the Winston gone. Henning actually able to find both supports with that Primal Rage. A good hold from Disaster.
Yeah, beautiful work there from Nico and Henning there to clean up that fight and finally get a stop here and really allow themselves to set up shop here on point 3. Henning, beautiful work with the juggle in that small room, but you've got Pulse Bomb and the Graviton Surge coming in from Fusion University.
There's the Graviton Surge right over the top. May not even need the pulse. Nope. Jolly's going to hold on to that. That's a swift 4 kills and an insanely beautiful Graviton Surge from Poco. And this cart rounds the corner. There will be time for a contest.
Yeah, that's a good thing for Disasters, that they're going to have time to come out and get a contest into this. Throw the nano on top of. Oh my god. Never mind.
Jolly just yeets that pulse bomb down the stairs, lands it right on Frey. Shockwave comes up with a triple, just sitting back. Nobody able to even come close to contesting Shockwave, and they are free to rain those shots down into the bulk of Disaster. That is a extremely healthy time bank for Fusion University. Is once again they have a phenomenal attack.
I mean, that's an on-a-diff right there. If I've ever seen one, Boombox absolutely showing up big for Fusion University here. The nanos were clean. The anti-nades were disgusting, and the follow-up from Gialli and most of the time J-Karu was just absolutely chef's kiss on point. Shockwave was really uncontested for the majority of that round as well. So, I mean, they're going to have to answer this Ash question. We mentioned that when we were leading into this map, how are they going to deal with Shockwave on the Ash? And they did not have that answer. So right now, Disaster kind of have their backs up against it once again. Let's see if they can come out and answer what Fusion University just did. I think that Kage, I don't know if they have the Ash in their back pocket. I think a Sombra could work here. You know, I think a Torbjorn actually could also work here because of the problem of Gialli. Gialli was getting so much value on this Tracer, maybe having a little bit of Autobot aim coming from a turret might dissuade them from, you know, really diving into the back line and taking the pressure to Disaster. So, I mean, really, Shockwave is going to be the crux of the matter here. We saw a lot of answering plays between Founding Astro and Momentum on the Brigittes respectively, so we'll see what they can get out of this.
Oh, J-Karu's going to get a lot of ult charge out of this right out of the gate. Just goes up and palms the spawn door. Teleport finally does come through. Disaster make it across. Fusion University waiting for him at the top of the bridge. Ready to greet them with that Viper.
I tell you what, Poco is putting a lot of damage down this hallway here as well. Look at that, almost 50%, over 50% now to the first Graviton Surge. So you have to answer the Poco question as well. How do you get out of that?
Ooh! Jolly able to burn down Henningsen on the cart that was through a monkey bubble, as well as having Nico down there trying to mark him, and Jolly still finds that kill onto the main tank.
It is a 40% difference between Poco and Shu on the Zaryas right now. So the off-tank battle being won by Fusion University right now. Faryu is going to have to invest this nano boost in on top of Henning to get some value and maybe push them off a box here, because they are just holding strong up here. There's really no answer to what they're bringing into bear.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do. Nano boost used to try to clear box, but Henningsen has to abandon that. And Fusion University just push forward. They just ignore the Winston. Push forward and clean off bridge. Henning is able to move in and find a kill onto the Ana, but the rest of Fusion Unity standing strong.
Yeah, I mean, you invest the Graviton Surge there, and I mean, with Poco's rate of charge right now, and that's not a throwaway. You're not going to miss it for too long, and it also allows Shockwave to get so much ult charge, throwing the dynamite and the shots from the Viper into the Graviton Surge, got them their Bob. Both DPS ultimates ready to go for Fusion University, and Kage is getting absolutely harangued right now.
Yeah, Kage. Whoop, stick it down on cart. It's actually Henningsen and Nico up top. Henningsen gets bionated, can't survive. Another nano boost out onto J-Karu, as they're holding the rest of Disaster just right here at the starting spot. I mean, look at this Primal Rage. Basically touching the door with it already pick up momentum. Even further slowing that build towards the first rally. We're past the 2-minute mark. Kage answers back, though, just like we saw in King's Row. It's this McCree able to get a couple kills, might unlock things for Disaster.
Yep, and there's a big kill right there from heading onto J-Karu. Free push right now. Nobody's on the cart. They need to worry about that more than pursuing these kills. They need to get this cart moving. They are sub 90 seconds right now. Big Primal Rage being invested there by Shu.
Oh, it may have been a little bit of an overextension rally. We got Nano used as well, everything to try to keep Disaster up, and they survive the grab. They're able to answer back, get 3 kills of their own. Do finally get that cart up to the top of the hill. Henningsen moving up to the high ground to try to fortify this point.
Yep, and I think they're going to go ahead and get it pulled in here. I think Gialli was thinking about maybe a last-second touch, but they're going to go ahead and cede the first point there to Disaster. So nice use of ultimates there. It was expensive, but it got them the net result that they needed. They need a clean hanger fight right now. It's going to take 2 fights to get them through here. They need to really get an assassination in the neutral right now. See if they can pull something out of their magic box here.
Henningsen makes it up top to try to do something about Shockwave, but Shockwave already threw a bomb down point. Gialli found 3 on this objective. Just moved in, cleaning house. Oh my goodness.
Boombox landed another massive anti as well. That's what really helped them get all the confirmed kills there and gains themselves another nano boost. So Shu has been really up against it. I mean, looking at Nico, just getting peppered down by Gialli on this trace of the duels are absolutely crucial right now for Gialli to win, to keep the progress of this preload where it is.
Oh man, a great opening pick on Henningsen. He's going to give Gialli the edge they need. Don't have to worry about that pesky Winston anymore. Freyu goes down. No healers left on the board, and Disaster just turning tail.
Oh man, this is a broken fight if I ever saw one. Nico's trying to get out with their lives, and they get hunted down by Gialli in the end. They are absolutely fragmented now as a team. They just need to cool down, take a breather, not to rip off of the Roadhog cooldown, but they need to take a breather. They need to figure out their pathing and need to come together as a full 6 once again.
Gonna be a little nano duel, or excuse me, Winston duel up on the high ground. Nano boost just thrown on to Henningsen. Able to push forward a little bit. Try to dislodge Fusion University off of this high ground, but as soon as they step in, Shockwave is sitting in the far back, putting down tons of shots. Graviton Surge up onto the high ground.
Oh, word.
Momentum down, Kage down. Poco, once again, with just a phenomenal Graviton Surge, winning fights with just that one ultimate.
It was the nade again. Look at Ana so much. 5 assists into that from one singular biotic grenade going into Disaster's team comp there, being held in Graviton Surge. So Shu's going to have to answer back with theirs here and see what they can get out of it.
It's going to be a rally popped early and 2 quick kills for Shockwave with the Dynamite. It was the nano boost to Jikaru who did the bulk of the damage. Bob thrown in, and oh my goodness, Fusion University. She's doing him dirty. It's filthy.
They're palming Gold Star, Old Spawn Door. They're doing it. They're taking a page out of LH Cloudy's book, Old Spawn Door. And yeah, I mean, they've got Pulse Bomb and Primal Rage going into this next fight. Bull Skunk. This is going to be filthy coming out of them.
Yep, Jakaru's going to go and pop that Primal on the stairs. There goes the Pulse Bomb on the momentum. Oh, Jakaru taken down by a Deadeye from Kage. Do you still have Gialli to worry about in the back? Nico's got to go heal up. No! Gialli won't let him. Now moving up, looking to try to pressure out Freyu, who's got this nano boost. Freyu, you've got to get a sleep dart in. You got to do something. No, Gialli overtakes. The nano boost falls to waste, as does the rest of Disaster's squad.
Yep, less than 30 seconds now. Only a nano boost online for Disaster. Now's the time that you need to think about, some kind of swap up here. Obviously, what you're running is not working. You need to get some kind of adaptation going into this next fight. You've got 1 push left, if you could even touch the point.
Well, they'll get the cart rolling. Oh, but Nico goes down at the 5-second mark. Somebody's got to touch now. The overtime will not trigger. They're holding the door. Fusion University not let anybody out. They deny any touch onto that cart. And Fusion University with a dominant victory on Watchpoint Gibraltar, putting themselves on match point up 2-1 in the series.
Yeah, and I mean, that was just absolutely filthy coming out of them. And I tell you what, this was a singularly dominant performance coming out of Fusion University. Yeah, I'm in the Matrix right now.
Yeah, I'm a little scared what's going on over there.
Yeah, I'm here. I really am here. No, I tell you what, that was just a dominant performance there. I mean, holding Spawn Door for over 1.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, they just put their boot on Disaster's throat and says, you're not getting up. And they won that fight just with sheer pressure at Spawn alone.
Oh man, the Tracer duel between Gialli and Nico, that's been fun to watch. That's been a duel I always wanted and never knew I wanted. Gialli actually getting the better end of that so far, at least on Watchpoint Gibraltar, in that Tracer duel, able to get so much pressure in. And part of having the Ashe on the battlefield is Henningsen has to worry about that Ashe as well. Henningsen is really only the person that can close that gap and counter the Ashe. And Jakaru doesn't have that worry. Jakaru can just kind of hang out with Jolly, and they're going in and wreaking havoc on that back line. Fusion University just 100% dominant. They came out looking for some revenge after that loss on King's Row.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Shu did not swap over to the D.Va to put some pressure onto the Ashe, on the Shockwave's Ashe. You could have done that. It also provides, the ability to eat a grav, eat a pulse bomb. You had a couple of utilities there that the D.Va could have provided to you there, but you stayed with the mirror matchup.
Yep.
And I mean, Poco won that off-tank battle hands down. I mean, 4 gravs between the first and 2 point. I mean, just...
I would love to know how many grav kills Poco had in that map. That was nuts.
I mean, the one was 5. I mean, and let's talk about boombox as well, okay? Those nades coming in, absolutely decimating any kind of momentum that the team was trying to get. Yeah. I mean, they just stopped them in their tracks and just zap, you're done. Poof, be gone. And that's exactly what happened to Disaster there. So, I mean, boombox showing just the beautiful work on the Ana. I mean, I tell you what, Fry, you got a little bit outplayed there. The Brigida battle, I think, was really well constructed between the two. I think Funny Astro and Momentum. I mean, they were going head to head. Unfortunately, Gialli liked to throw the pulse bomb onto Momentum and take them out of the fight before they even got into the fight. So the Inspire uptime was just not there for Disaster. So, just little bits here and there, my friend. And that takes Fusion University to match point. It takes them up 2-1 in our series.
And not only, was just the Inspire healing not available, but the rally generation was a lot slower for Disaster. So they weren't able to get that up enough to have any kind of significant impact in the fights. I believe they did win the one fight that they used the rally on. Mm-hmm. But past that, I mean, it was all Funny Astro. But I mean, Momentum kind of getting outplayed a little bit by Funny Astro. That's nothing to be embarrassed about. Like, Funny Astro is arguably, top 5, if not top 3 main support in the world. Yep. Period. And so, like, that's a tough ask for Momentum. As there is no 4th map. The 4th map is a mystery. We don't know where we're going. It is the Disaster's pick. I mean, you could choose between Control or Assault. I'd imagine. I don't know. I can't even begin to guess, to be honest. Like, I'm just going to throw it out there. We're going to Lijiang Tower. They don't want to play Assault. Nobody wants to play Assault. Like, that's pure guess. 100% speculation. Oh, but what's not speculative is this lead by Fusion University. I mean, I was impressed with the Disaster on King's Row. I honestly didn't expect them to take that map. They were not able to win any team fights on their initial defense. 4-minute time bank. I mean, almost a speed run from Fusion U. And then they come back in the extra innings and really turn it up. Kage just absolutely performing on another level. Able to get that map win on the board for Disaster. I don't know if Fusion Uni were just... I mean, they didn't look like they were, resting on their laurels or just kind of cruising in 4th gear or anything. I mean, Fusion Uni were putting up some good effort. But they came back angry on Watchpoint Gibraltar. That was a nutty performance. You don't see them touch the spawn door in WPG very often.
Yeah, Angie Fusion.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, it was just, they just ratcheted up the pressure.
Hey, we are going to Assault.
We are going to Assault. Okay. So we're going to go to Hanamura. And we shall see what we shall see here. Do we see the McFlurry come out from either team here? I think that you can do it here. Also, you could run a double shield variant here. You can run the Celtic Pride tank line of the Rhine and Sigma to really beef up what you're bringing. Symmetra strats aside, it's all about wall management, wall placement. Who can you cordon off with the wall, and can you confirm the kill once you do set up that wall? So it all depends on what kind of compositions are going to come out here, because we're still in this very fluid environment of meta. You can really run anything you want here. I would not be surprised if we see a Symmetra strat come out here. I would be remiss of me to say that, it's not unexpected. So once we see what they line up with, what they bring out the gate, we'll see what they do as far as compositions. And we're going to see Disaster on the defense here. We're waiting for the Time for them to assemble their heroes. You and I always talk about this when we cast Wolfskunk. This is one of our favorite aesthetics pleasing map.
Oh, it's a beautiful map.
It's a beautiful map.
I love the architecture. I love that samurai-esque style architecture. Ancient Japanese. I just think it's so pretty. And the devs definitely did a good job of representing that and giving us a very pleasing map to look at. Hanamura, I anticipate we're going to get Brawl from our two teams, particularly from Disaster. They've definitely shown that they want to stick with that McFlurry Brawl. Hanamura is your best bet there. I mean, you don't want to go to Volsky if you want to play Brawl. You don't want to go to Anubis if you want to play Brawl. I think there's too much range for them to worry about. Fusion University is the question mark for me. I don't know. There's so many options on Hanamura. There's so many ways to play this map. And I honestly truly enjoy playing this map. I know it's not a community favorite, but it is a personal favorite, even from a gameplay standpoint.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. And I mean, right now, looking at what we're seeing from Fusion University, they're going to use the Symmetra teleporter strat to get onto point. So, I mean, it's all about taking care of Shockwave and taking care of this microwave beam once they do get this teleporter set up. If they get that ramped up in any kind of hurry, it's going to be all to play for here.
They opt not to teleport. They just throw a wall up and block Disaster in. What a play! They kind of out-mental them, but Kage gets those headshots down. J-Karu out of this fight, and Fusion University gets scattered to the winds.
They absolutely do. Looking at Nico going down, though, from Gialli. So Gialli getting actually better value on the Mei right there. It's seriously, I mean, they're going to have to clean up this fight. It's kind of a broken engagement now. Shockwave is back on this Symmetra, and they're going to have the teleporter to push the damage back in on top of Disaster.
It's going to be an Ant Matrix up from Disaster, but that's just walled off there towards the end of its cycle. Jolly does have this Blizzard ready to go, putting a lot of pressure on Henningsen, who's trying to hide around this corner. Yeah, Chu move in from the outside, which means there's a free Blizzard towards the front, towards Henningsen, who gets frozen up, gets sent back. Jolly with a headshot on Kage. And that's another final blow, another victim claim for Fusion University.
Oh, Jolly's just absolutely filthy with the tracking right now and just getting all the value they need. They did get stalled a bit on their first engagement, so it's not going to be the massive time bank that we're expecting, but I mean, still 5:30 is very healthy going into this. It could have been worse. I mean,
it could have definitely been worse.
But I mean, looking at Disaster, they have ultimates that are coming up online right now. This teleporter, though, is going to put the immediate pressure onto Disaster, and they're going to have to abandon their high ground.
Curious to see the positioning. Okay, Disaster getting aggressive. They kind of learn from their mistakes. Forces a rotation from Fusion U as they head up to the crosswalk, up to that high ground. They're going to go ahead and circle all the way around up the stairs. They don't have any poke. They got to get in close to do damage. And they're going to use the teleporter alongside the photon barrier. Photon barrier will block a lot of the damage coming out from that Ant Matrix. Jakaro Shatter comes down, finds nothing. Both support ults out now for Disasters. They try to push in on this thing. Prompts the counter beat from Funny Astro. Self-destructed in the mix from Shu, gets nothing. Boombox finds first blood on this attack. Poco able to find more. As Henningsen goes down, it's a massive advantage for Fusion University. They're going to throw out the Blizzard to try to close out this point, and they succeed. 2 points on the board, 4:27 left.
Yeah, that's just beautiful rotations coming out of Fusion University. They, accepted that they just couldn't take the teleporter and go straight to point. So they take the high ground rotation all the way around, drop down, use that photon barrier to bisect the point and just stand behind it and just pour the damage in on poor Henning. Henning didn't have anywhere to go. He was bereft of any kind of support from his supports. And, it was just cleanup from that point on. Once Henning went down, it was just a matter of time before Fusion University takes the entirety of the point, and they have more time than what they started with. So Disaster are going to have to hope for a massive push here. They're going to have to speed run this to get anywhere near the time of Fusion University. They're going to have ult generation out of this world, and Fusion University showing us a little bit of a different look here. Jolly coming out here on the Echo. Shockwave bringing out Barbarian. So you're going to be worrying about the turret picking up any stragglers. Disaster is going to have their head on a swivel. Once they get into map, they realize that there is a Torbjorn on the battlefield because that's going to be, a lot of free damage coming in from Shockwave.
I don't know if they're anticipating a Tracer, if this is just to help, perhaps deal with the Symmetra as well. I do believe the turret will target the symmetric turrets. Now, although I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm fairly confident they will. We are getting the double bubble defense to boot. So a very interesting look from Fusion. They're going to just hold high ground, a lot of poke, do a lot of initial damage. Disaster trying to come in with a dive composition. Kage going over to the Reaper.
Yeah, I mean, we got the Blackout DPS coming in here with the dive tank. So Nico is going to be looking for a hack. Most ostensibly looking for Poco on the Zarya to get those bubbles out of commission.
And the Torbjorn turns out into a perfect pick. It's perfect against this Sombra, against this Reaper. What a guess. What research from Christopher Cruz and the coaches at Fusion University. Because this Torb is ideal. It's going to make life so difficult for Nico.
Yeah, and like I said, it's free ult charge as well. And Giali's just going to go behind them and just start spamming. Look at this. They already have duplicate in the first fight.
Oh, that's nuts. That was a thick set of cluster bombs. Primal Rage already out. Battering Disaster in all directions. We're using their coalescence to try to stay afloat. Nico actually finding first pick, and a very priority pick at that. Jolly doesn't end up getting a whole lot done with the duplicated Winston. Now here comes the genuine Primal, but Jikaru gets manually hacked. Gets taken down, can't utilize that mobility. Sound Barrier now in from momentum. They still have some of that shielding as the oh no. God. The grab hits, but the grab was combined with that Molten Core. And Fusion University hanging on despite struggling start to that fight.
That was disgusting. Shame on Shockwave and Poco. That was just not very nice. The grab Molten Core combo, you love to see it. Unless you're a Disaster, that you absolutely hate it. But you do have Death Blossom coming into this next fight. Also, Coalescence once again from Fryu, having used it in the previous fight, the generation of this Moira. Absolutely huge. I mean, just the absolute boatload of damage that was taken by Disaster there. Obviously getting the heals up fast.
Penny going into the back. Look for those supports with this Primal Rage and that small robe. Eats a shield bash. Outside, she was able to get the kill on a Poco as well. Funny Asteroid, a lot of trouble. Can't believe they survived as long as they did, but Disaster's able to pick up the point in the interim. They'll start moving to B. They have a couple ults to work with.
Yes, they do. I mean, you can obviously go in with the EMP Death Blossom. That can win you a fight very easily. Boombox is going to have to stay out of the range of this, but Shockwave almost has another Molten Core online. A couple of headshots, and they have it. They might be able to counter this.
Where's Chikaru? There's no way they're still at spawn. I'm not sure they ever killed Jikaru from the first fight. I was curious where they were when they didn't stall out, and indeed they came in through the window. They never died. EMP online as Nico is battling it out with the Winston right now. Grab in from Poco to start things off. Right against the wall. And the Molten Core can't quite find the spot. It can't get the big wombo combo like they got last time. EMP comes through. Jikaru goes down. But it's 2 kills the other way as when they scatter, the Disaster falls into the lava floor. And though they didn't quite get the combo they wanted, Shockwave still found the picks.
They did. And I mean, Henning going down now is even longer of a stagger. So this is all about time wasting right now for Fusion University. I mean, they've got duplicate ready to go again. So I expect this time, I expect the Diva duplicate coming out of Jolly to get the self-destruct, to get, the point clearing ultimate there. I mean, so much online for Fusion University to repel Disaster, but Kage still has this Death Blossom. They're going to have to watch out for bubble management and then be able to press Q in that moment.
Yep, got to watch out for that Brig as well. A Brigitte will shut down a Reaper in a heartbeat. Jolly with the duplicate takes a lot of damage. Good shots from Boombox to top them off. It's going to throw the Nano down onto Poco, who should build up the rest of this grab. Indeed does. Death Blossom does come out. Rally used to keep Fusion University alive. Oh, the grab is huge, massive. Once again from Poco. They've been hitting these all day long, winning fights each and every time.
So filthy. Absolute filth from Poco once again. And just looking at the work coming out from them, they're charging up once again, taking Nico out in a flurry. Now, it's all about tank ultimates coming in from Disaster on their next fight. They want to get Nico up to this EMP. Really, EMP bomb can win them this fight. They just have to be able to launch it in the proper timing and gate that last 20% there. Shockwave has another Molten Core ready to go, Bull Skunk. So this is really going to be about how do they pull these ultimates out of Fusion University for them to be able to get the big wombo combo and win this next team fight.
This may be Disaster's best opportunity. Fusion University spent 5 ults in that last fight. Shockwave's going to use the Molten Core, the last remaining one, early in this fight. But it's enough to get hitting. And with their main tank down, Disaster just don't have the tools to get in here and initiate this fight. Fusion University take the fight to them and clean it up.
Yep, but fortunately for Disaster, they didn't press Q. So they're going to have this wombo combo ready to go into this next fight. Nothing on board for Fusion University. I think we'll see Boombox get their nano, throw it on J. Caro into the next fight. You know, when the pressure really starts coming in, maybe being able to hold them up against this EMP bomb combo that is now online. I think you pair it with Fryu just pouring the damage in over the top as well.
Woo, Jolly just barely making it back inside before the manual hack comes through. That would have been disastrous if they had fallen outside the castle here.
Oh my god. Sticky
Duplicate
bombs.
online after another just thick flurry of sticky bombs. Nano boost indeed used on a Jikaru. AMP coming through on the other side finds 3, including both supports. Poco already down, 96 to grab. Funny Astro's going to go ahead and drop a rally, try to keep the remaining 4 members of Fusion University alive. Forced off the point by Henningson's Primal Rage. Funny Astro not getting the value they really need, but Jikaru's able to find the pick. Both supports down for Disaster. Their sustain has just gone out the window. Great focus fire. Stunned out of the Desert Blossom. Kage sent back to spawn. There's that shield bash I was warning you about. Funny Astro all over it.
Yep, sub 30 seconds now, and I mean, they just blew their entire ultimate bank and got 0 real value out of it. They do get 2 ticks, but I mean, they've got 20 seconds now to get the last remaining bit of it. Otherwise, they're going to lose their series 1-3. And Shockwave and Jolly both have ultimates ready to go. There's nothing in there for Disaster. Disaster's going to have to speed them on the point and hopefully get a sound barrier out of it.
Oh, they got to get past the hot lava first. Soundbarrier needs to try and get onto the objective, and they are going to touch. But Hitting goes down, sacrificing himself for the cause. Giallo coming through with the duplicate. Picks the Reaper is just burning down Shu. The Death Blossom is out. They didn't. Oh, man. Shu goes down. Despite not getting any direct final blows. Oh, my goodness. Jolly finds 3 after the ultimate. A big exclamation point on this series. Fusion University walk away with the 3-1 dub after a dominant performance on Watchpoint Gibraltar and another dominant performance there on Hanamura.
That was just dirty. That's my stank face. That was just dirty coming out of Gialli. I mean, that was beautiful work from them. Let me tell you what, they came to play today. And I tell you what, Disaster did not disappoint me. They just got outplayed. I mean, you go up against 3 Owl players, you're going to lose 9 times out of 10. They did get that 1 out of 10 today on Kings Row. And that's something that they have to build off of. They can take it to this team. They can take it to teams with this amount of caliber of talent. So, you know, going through the rest of trials now, Bullskunk, I'm looking for Disaster to be the number 2 team out of the EMEA. I mean, I haven't seen any of the other teams yet. We're going to see another series here with Raspberry Racers and coming up next. But for right now, Disaster, even though they go down 3-1, they showed a lot of heart. They showed a lot of talent. They showed a lot of promise. I cannot wait to see them down the line.
I agree completely. Kage particularly impressed me today. I mean, Nico's always fun to watch, always a powerhouse. I'd have to agree with you. If I had released power rankings today, I would have Disaster the number 2 slot from what I've seen so far. But you know what? We have plenty of trials left ahead of us. Lots of time for these teams to prove us wrong. All right. But all right, we are going to get an interview from our Winners Fusion University here. We're going to take a minute and get that set up. So we're going to take a short break, but y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be back with an interview from our newest team here in EU Trials.
everyone. Life.
We are here with Jay Carr, main tank from Fusion University. Welcome. Congratulations on the win. Thank you for joining us for the interview.
Thanks so much.
Well, I gotta ask, what's it like playing with 3 Overwatch League players? Has it changed? Do you have to change your style at all? I'm thinking, like, as a main tank, are you normally shot caller? Did that persist? Or are you relying on some of the more experienced players to make those calls?
No, I say that. I mean, I've held them practice before a few months ago, so I fit right in pretty well. I wouldn't say that like I changed the way I comm. I still comm the same. It's just it feels like I can do a lot more in game, and I have a lot more time to think about what I'm saying because all the players are great, so they allow me to do whatever I want, pretty much. So
nice.
I don't have to like think about talking all the time. I just talk when I say like when I need to.
That's awesome. So I was talking to you before we came back on air. Running double bubble, not necessarily an EMEA trait. However, you guys ran it to perfection. What was your thoughts playing that into the rush comp that you saw at a disaster?
Well, I mean, if anyone knows has been watching any of my streams over the past 2 months, I've pretty much only played Monkey and double bubble into every single comp there is. So for us, it's just, we're just having fun playing double bubble. That's the funnest thing to play. It's always if a good double bubble will always beat a rush. And I mean, maybe if my Ryan was as good as my Winston, we would have won King's Row as well. But that's getting there.
Well, talk us through King's Row. I mean, y'all had a great attack. It looked really good going into extra innings. What happened on the second set of attacks? Where did things go wrong?
Well, I mean, it's King's Row. It's just when it's rush v rush, you just stack 6 ults and like you just get lucky with the with the ult economy, and then you just win. Like that's what happened with them. And Nico did a good May freeze, and like when we went with our Nano Primal, I couldn't get my Primal off because he threw it way in the back line. Maybe I should have just jumped the tanks and baited him, but.
Oh man, there's only one other thing that I wanted to ask. Looking at what we saw from Kage, seemed to get on the flank a lot. Were you guys aware of the flanks that they were taking, or did it catch you unawares? Because Shockwave just got owned in the overtime,
but
the flank through the hotel.
I mean, this isn't to downplay anyone's skill, but Shockwave's monitor was literally turning on and off the entire game. See, if you watch the VOD and you see Shockwave just AFK suddenly, his monitor is turned off, and he said, "My monitor's off, dude."
Oh no!
Oh no!
So...
Well, hopefully you get those issues ironed out for the rest of the week. Any shout outs you want to give here before we let you go?
Oh, well, I have to shout out Chris Tifo because he begged me to somehow shoehorn his coaching into this interview. So there you go. I'll give it to Chris.
Love it.
Shout out to the coach. You gotta love it. Well, congratulations again. Good luck on the rest of the week, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, that was Jay Karu, main tank extraordinaire for Fusion University. Oh man, what a fun interview! That was great. Shout out to all the coaches out there. Christopher and Cruz coming through for Fusion University, giving them that win there today. But we are not done. First match of Contenders Trials May in the books, but we got another one coming at you. We're gonna take a short break. When we come back, it's Raspberry Racers taking on. Oh yeah, I can't wait to tell you about these teams. I'll see you on the other side of this break and give you all the deets. Well, welcome back. We are here with our second series in day 1 of EU Contenders Trials. This one's going to be Raspberry Racers going up against All Yeah. All Yeah is essentially the spiritual successor of Avoided.
Yep, I am very much looking forward to this. Today, I also want to make sure that Ball is awake today because they weren't awake in the grand finals for EMEA. I saw that in chat that they overslept.
Yep.
And were not available. And Lightbringer actually had to play main tank. Then Abs came in and played on Junkertown on the Orisa. I mean, both of them had a pretty good performance, obviously. But I mean, we need to make sure that the real team here is here today. Because we do see a lot of these avoided players. Minimi going to a coaching role, though, I am very disappointed personally, because Minimi is one of my favorite Austrians in the whole world, because they love to play the donkey horse, which is my favorite character in the entire game. And I'm going to be sad that I don't get to see Minimi's donkey horse on display, but they are coaching, so congratulations to them to taking up this new role. However, Raspberry Racers, storied history here in Contenders. They went away for a little while, but now they are back, and you know, they're bringing back Doge. They're bringing in Twills, who we saw in the last iteration of Trials with OMG, and we saw him with Crescent Dew and with Who. So, you know, Twills, the Dutch off-tank player, we'll see what they can bring to this meta this time. They kind of brought that player in late. It was like a last-minute bring-on, so what I want to see right now is how is the integration with the team going to be? How are they going to play with Doge in the main tank role? Lethal and Cloud, I mean, we've said their names for years, years now. I mean, we've seen them play together. You know, EXO being most recent for Slay and Cloud playing together. So, you know, they left. They left. Slay left the EXO team as well as with Cloud. They took third in last Contenders. So,
right.
I mean, they're leaving a team full of success to come here and play with Raspberry Racers. So I want to see what they bring with that experience level up against. Oh yeah, I mean, there's some OTPs there, but I saw a lot more variation than I ever saw when they played under the name Avoided. J-Dash is also one of my favorite managers out there. They are very personable, and you know, love their story, love how they represent their team, and this is going to be awesome. This is going to be an awesome match, I believe. I think it's going to go 5 maps personally. I give the slight edge to Raspberry Racers just based off of what I saw in VOD reviews, taking a look at what they've done through Open Division and other competitions. So I really think, it's going to push them. But I think that Raspberry Racers is going to have just that little bit of extra to get them over the edge.
I mean, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. Raspberry Racers struggled in Contenders March and April, winning only 1 map between their 4 matches. They lost all 4, went 0-2 both months, which is what landed them back here in Trials. They lose Fincy. I mean, you know, storied former Overwatch League player. Leaves about a week ago, and Twills gets brought in, basically coming in out of retirement. Doesn't really look to put up a whole lot of competitive play here in the past year or so. So I'm curious to see how this works out. Doge does look like a very strong main tank. Saw them, you know, going up, I was reviewing a match between them and Young and Beautiful, and Doge was absolutely holding their own against Binbest, which is no small feat. So, I mean, and like I say, Lethal and Cloud, we've seen before. We've seen them, you know, perform at an excellent level, you know, back with EXO and Obey respectively.
Yep.
So I think the potential is there, but are going to be a tough team to beat. Like you say, they're expanding out of their one trick persona, coming in here. I mean, you're going to see. You may not, they're familiar faces, even if you don't know they're familiar faces. A lot of these players are from Avoided, but are playing under different names with But you know, we're going to see Hampe and T Sorcerer in the support line. You've got Ball and I'm Special leading the charge and the tank role, and then you've got Kaya, Kaiser, and Ken are your 3 DPS. Yeah, I'm tripping over that one. I'm so sorry. And honestly, I think that's where we see the most one trick is going to be from the DPS, at least from the footage I was studying. Kaya coming in on the Junkrat a lot, so seemingly almost a one trick player there. And then Ken's Genji. Ken's Genji is actually pretty darn scary.
Yeah, I mean, his soldier's scary too, though.
Yeah.
If I remember, former iterations of this player, they do have the ability to whip out the legs and really take it to a team. So, I mean, it just depends on what map we're on. It depends on if Kaiser is going to be able to bring it in as well. Kaiser bringing in the Torbjorn a lot. So, shades of Kaju from OT Pog. I
Sure.
think they all play together. So, I want to see what exactly our one tricking is going to be today, if it even is still the one tricking that we know Avoided to be, or they're going to have the adaptability to be able to change. Because we did see that the last time we saw Avoided play together team, they were more willing to kind of break that OTP stigma and play more variety of heroes, even though it may not be meta picks. It's what they feel comfortable on. It's all about comfort picks for them. That's what Lightbringer's always told us. In any kind of interviews, it's always about what they feel comfortable on. It doesn't matter what the meta is. It's just what they feel comfortable on, what they can perform on, and that's how they play. And it's a beautiful way to play.
They have fun. Like that's what made Avoided always so fun to watch, is because the players are just genuinely having a good time. They play what they want to play and tend to excel at it. We haven't seen Avoided since Gauntlet. They've been kind of MIA in the 2021 season. They struggled in Gauntlet a little bit. Got that 9th to 12th, getting 3-0'd by British Hurricane, and then Old Board, who are also here in Trials, and then kind of just disappeared. And they've come back, made their way through Open Division, got second place in Open Division. Like you said, Lightbringer had to fill in on main tank, who was technically a coaching alongside Mini-Me. Is Lightbringer's official role, at least here in Trials. So that's, they got second place, but they did beat Fourth Dimension in the winners finals. So it's, if they're firing on all cylinders, like there's a lot of moving parts of this team. If they're firing on all cylinders, is dangerous, and they're going to be dangerous throughout these Trials week. But I think they don't always manage to sync up. They don't always find their rhythm. So I think that's going to be the real tell of the day. Is can Raspberry Racers throw them off their rhythm?
Yeah, and I mean, Ball has to be awake too.
There's that.
I'm going to razz Ball for that, because I saw it in the chat and they're like, "Oh yeah, where's Ball? Somebody call Ball. Somebody wake him up. Wake him up. Wake him up. Wake him up. Can we get Ball, please? Ball, please." They also asked for a lot of Kaya Rip Tire POVs. We'll try to give you the viewers what you want, but we'll see. We'll see what we can do for you. But I see that we're still trying to sort out the lobby here. So, I mean, looking at, the subs that are coming in for Raspberry Racers, is it going to be map dependent? You've got Sir Majed, a longtime T2 journeyman as well.
Yep.
Has a disgusting Ana. I've seen them play the Ana so many times. It's such a beautiful character. Their coaches, Sword and Almost Panda, hopefully getting the team ready to go. And I want to see, what they bring to the table here. What do they bring? What kind of strategies are they going to do up against this, a very, unapologetically unorthodox team that is, oh yeah. I'm going to have fun with this all day long, just so you know.
Oh yeah. Starting off on Nepal. It is our fixed map here on day one. So no choice given there. Everybody's starting on Nepal. It's going to be a loser pick from there. First of 3 series. No first of 2s to start things off in Trials. It's all first of 3 across the board. 7 days of competition. Top 4 moving into Contenders. It's Raspberry Racers versus Let's get it started. Let's get it going. I'm looking forward to this one, Billy.
I am looking forward to this one as well. This is actually my secondary favorite game of the day. Obviously, we got a treat being able to cast 3 current Overwatch League players. And I tell you what, this one, because of our personal affinity towards Avoided, we've always appreciated, their joy in the game. And that's something that, you just don't see a lot of times is, the joy and the passion in a game. And I mean, there's a lot of us that are passionate about our games. And, I love just seeing them being able to do whatever they want to do here. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what All Yeah bring out of the gate. Also, Raspberry Racers. I mean, there's some players here that we loved with Obey and EXO when they were battling against the juggernaut of British Hurricane last year.
Right.
I tell you what, Cloud got some work on them. Lethal got a win over them. So that's what I'm looking forward right now is what the DPS of Raspberry Racers is going to be able to do against the unorthodox lineup coming out of All Yeah.
Yeah, Raspberry Racers, trying to start things off strong here in trials after some struggles in March and April. And just a reminder, trials will be 7 days here in the month of May, as opposed to the 5 that we had previously. So y'all hit that subscribe button, hit the bell. You'll get notified whenever our trials matches go live. Keep track of who's going to be in Contenders and watch the Overwatch League stars of tomorrow. We're having a little bit of an issue getting set up. We're going to take a short break, get this lobby finalized, and get the second series brought to you momentarily. So bear with us just a minute, and we'll see you on the other side. All right, we kicked our hamsters in the rear, got them running again. They were sleeping on the job. But they're awake now. Things are spinning right along, and we're ready to get into this first match. Getting headed to Nepal here to start things off, a fixed map in our first of 3 series. Raspberry Racers taking on, day 1. We got 6 matches this week here in trials, and whoever comes out top 4 in our round robin, everybody playing everybody, is going to move on to Contenders proper. Both these teams want to come out of the gate with a dub.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, you're trying to get into Contenders proper, so we'll see. How they come out the gate. Do they come out, a little cold? Do they come out nice and warmed up? We saw, a miracle map, if you will, coming out of our last series where we saw, Disaster, formerly Young and Beautiful, taking out a map from Fusion University. So I love Mr. Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah. I mean, that is a harkening back to my childhood.
So that's a throwback for you.
That is a throwback and a half. But
so does that mean every time we say the name, we have to say it like the Kool-Aid Man? Is that?
Yeah. But I'm not running through any walls.
Why did I just think of Family Guy? Like, that's just immediately it comes to mind. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh yeah!
All well,
speaking speaking of oh no, little pause champ here. But hey, it looks like it may be brief. They're still sorting out lobby issues. Apparently, they got mad at us for a Family Guy reference. I guess I don't know. They're like, wait a minute. No, we can't have any of this funny business. We need to go to a pause right now. There's too much funny business going on the podcast.
I'm not sure how to even respond to that one. I tell you what. Looking at if we're going to start on Village here, this is going to be all about, getting space and taking control of point, because it is the hardest point to recapture here in Nepal. I mean, you just have the 2 openings and there's no way around it. I mean, especially if you're playing on May, you can completely block off 1 point of entry and just defend the other. And it's just all cramped together and gross when you're trying to aggress onto the point if you do not take the initial take of the point there. So I mean, I saw Chasm, aka Ball, playing ball. They're going to be able to get to point first and really establish that first presence on the point. Allow the rest of the team to get behind them and start getting out there and getting amongst the members of Raspberry Racers, start haranguing their backline. We know that they can do this. We know that they like to do this, and that's something that is a hallmark of this Wrecking Ball player, is that they will be in your backline 9 times out of 10, and twice on Sunday, and really take it to you and have to make you commit the resources to keeping your back line up. Makes you pull from the front line and get that peel going on. And it just takes all kinds of coordination just to get the ball out of your back line. Then you've got the other 5 members of All Yeah saying, hi, we're still here. We're going to shoot at you and take you out. So that's really what their win condition is. Every time they hit the field with this ball, they're going to be looking for that disruption. They're going to be looking for the roll throughs and the knockbacks. And they're going to be looking for landing massive pile drivers as well. So that's what we got to look forward to from Chasm, aka Ball. We'll see how successful they are today. If they run a Sombra at any point, Raspberry Racers, they're going to force a swap. And I mean, that's going to be, a major answer for Raspberry Racers if they recognize this and really want to win the game easily. Pull the Sombra out there and just take all the mobility, take all the tech out of the Wrecking Ball and make them just a simple crawling hamster.
I mean, even just a straight McFlurry comp has got so much CC. It can make Chasm's life very difficult on this Wrecking Ball. I mean, just the May alone, being able to throw a wall up and block a retreat, or just get the primary fire, the freeze in there, and just take all that momentum out of the ball. It can go a long way. It can make Chasm's life very difficult indeed. I'm curious what Raspberry Racers choose to come out with. I mean, you can't let Avoided get in that rhythm I was talking about. I mean, you let Chasm start working through your backline and forcing out a bunch of cooldowns, and then everything else is going to start pouring in. I'm special, potentially on the Zarya coming through with a bunch of frontline damage. Yep. It's Raspberry Racers have to shut it down. They have to nip that in the butt immediately. They cannot let Avoided get into their groove and work through their gears and get up into 6th gear. You got to keep them at gear 1 or 2. Keep them struggling to find any momentum, and Raspberry Racers can take this series.
Yeah, I mean, it's all going to be about how does Raspberry Racers disrupt the disruption. So that's what I'm looking for, is how are they going to counter these oddball picks that you see coming out from All Yeah. I think Sombra is a good answer to that. I think if you do run the McFlurry, Flashbang also works pretty darn good as well. You could also run the double shield variant of the Rhine and the Sigma and throw the accretion on top of the ball. That's another good piece of CC available to them as well. So, I mean, that's what I'm looking for, is how do they adapt to a ball player that really specializes, is quite fantastic at the hero as well. So I mean, they're going to have to know that they have to go into this fighting and really making sure they take care of the main tank. If they can take care of the ball, the rest really does fall into place.
Absolutely. And fortunately for them, Raspberry Racers are really good at this counterpunch style. They're very good at absorbing the aggression and then giving it back. The fights that they won in Contenders March in April, they were only able to take 1 map. But when they look their best is when they're working this counterpunch style. And I think it's going to give them the edge here. If I had to try to predict this match, I do think Raspberry Racers have a bit of an edge just stylistically. So they just need to play their game in that right. They do also tend to bring out some funny compositions. We've seen the legs come out. We've seen a McCree Doom, and they also like to play the Symmetra a fair bit. So Raspberry Racers like to throw these wrinkles in and not necessarily play strictly what you would expect of them.
It's gonna be so much fun once we finally get in there and
Indeed.
figure out what kind of weird and quirky things they're going to bring to the table. Because we can theory craft all we want, but until we see what happens on the map, we're not going to be able to really give you any more than just a speculation at this point.
Well, we are in. Worked out some ping issues, and game is underway. Let's get game 2 started. Oh yeah, coming out with, indeed, as expected, it's going to be Ball Zarya. You got Carnation and Cool Boy, who are Sorcerer and Hampe, respectively. And Cool Boy opted to go ahead and swap over to the Mercy early to pocket Kaiser on the second.
Yeah, I mean, they've already made the adaptations here and going to a little bit of a Killer Queen setup here with the damage boosted Echo. Doge and Twelzo, they're going to be the ones taking this to, yeah, they have not really brought in anything that I would necessarily think to counter Chasm on the ball. I mean, Lethal's going to have a lot field day in the sky, but look at that. I'm special on Kaiser. Kaya taking massive work into Raspberry Racers. That's going to get them the first gain at this point.
Yeah, Cloud got caught out by I'm Special. Nice little clapback coming through from Raspberry Racers, though, as they've made this a 4v4, but Surmajed falls as I'm Special picks up their second kill of the fight. And have first control and now player advantage.
Yeah, and I mean, we see Surmajed actually playing here and over a Slay here on the first point. Probably a control specialist for them. They're going to almost have the bodies to get the clapback here.
Yeah, a couple quick kills for Raspberry Racers. All you got to go ahead and invest the mines on the objective, buy as much percentage as they can. Racers res their one loss on that. Sherman with a nice kill on Kaya. Get the Junkrat out of the way. Now Doge moving on to the point. Try to see if they can flip this thing over. They deal with Chasm. Now looking to deal with Cool Boy. As Cloud works their way around to the outside. Puts damage into I'm Special as the point flip comes through.
Yep, and I mean, that was a beautiful work coming out from them. Nice barrage to really cordon off the point. Doge is getting so much value on this ball right now. And I tell you what, Surmajed, we talked about it in the beginning. We talked about it in our opening, how good the Ana of Surmajed is. The sleeps and the antis right now coming in are absolutely gargantuan.
And Lethal doing work on this far to boot, capitalizing on those sleeps and those big bionades. Got stuff to fall to that Riptire from Kaya. And it looks like, trying to get some percentage going. As, well, it was Kaiser on the point, gets chased off. Cloud with the final blow, as Doge is going to go ahead and invest the mines onto the objective. And Raspberry Racers just holding down the fort right now, as they're not allowing to get into that rhythm. They opt into the Clown Fiesta. Or is it Cloud Fiesta?
I see what you did there. They also invested their nano boost on top of Lethal, building up towards the next barrage. Didn't get a lot of joy out of it, as we saw the kite come away from Graviton Surge is available to I Am Special. There's nothing to pair with it as of right now.
Graviton Surge comes out. It gets eaten! Oh, no! Graviton Surge gobbled up by Twolz as Cloud comes up with two, and Twolz is able to get one with the self-destruct. Quick fight win, started off by a beautiful defense matrix out of Twolz.
I tell you what, Twolz, for not having much competitive experience here in the past couple of years, I was looking up on Wikipedia, the last time they actually played as a competitive person was in 2018. So, I mean, looking at what they're doing right now, not missing many steps right now, mines and amp matrix available for this is last fight territory.
Chasm moves on to the objective, throws down the mines, and is right now capping for free. All right, Contest comes through at the very end. No, he just stepped off. They could have clapped the point. No, they step off and then lose Kaiser and Cool Boy along the way. Does eventually get the flip, but it's Raspberry Racers winning this fight. Lethal's been getting such work out of this. There's the barrage picking up both takes. And that should seal the map right there. They just got to get control of it back. Oh! With the clever trap, and the follow-up is there. Lethal goes down, but unfortunately so does the overtime wick. Raspberry Racers taking round one.
What the heck just happened there? Smart little trap there from Kaya, but it still goes in favor. 1-0 to Raspberry Racers. So, the ability to kite away from danger, the ability to be in the air and really outduel Kaiser on the Echo, did not see any value out of duplicates from Kaiser. So I think, now it's time for them to come up with a new strategy, new plan, new composition for them coming out here on Sanctum. Different set of rules here. Obviously, you can go a lot more brawly here if you wish. You can also, go for poking at range. And I Am Special flashing us the Roadhogs. They're going to be looking for a lot of environmental kills here, my friend.
Indeed. Oh, yeah, coming out with a ball and a hog. A little bit of the old ball hog combo. This just looking for individual picks, trying to get that early damage and get that early hook. And you've also got Torbjorn and a Junkrat. Like, what an unusual combination. You'd come to expect from this crew. Raspberry Racers in here with the McFlurry Brawl, rotating all the way around. Doge is just going to take a quick power nap. Get back on their feet and come out. Looking for a target to pounce on. They do have Chasm frozen up. Chasm not able to get away. Gets taken down. Raspberry Racers now explode onto the objective. Both takes off the board for all. Yeah, and the flip comes through.
6% was all that they were able to get. And they immediately just swarm the point, take the point. That immortality barrier that came out from Sir Majet was absolutely massive.
Chasm returns, able to get that kill onto Lethal. And flip the point right back over. Only 14 garnered by Raspberry Racers as kill comes through onto Doge. Oh yeah, just going to fall back. No aggressive hold here.
Yeah, and I mean, does either team really want to hold on to the point right now because it's gone back twice? So we'll see what they come in with. Raspberry Racers does have a little bit of an advantage right now. I think Doge needs to land some serious fire strikes, but look at this knock through.
That could have been really dangerous for Racers. But no, they managed to get all 6 members up onto the bridge. I say that Sir Majet does fall. You got Kai in the back super low. His Ghost had made the loop around, trying to get something sneaky. But back on the front line, Kaiser was able to land a headshot. Raspberry Racers are down too.
I mean, this is just broken right now. I mean, they need to really get a disengage here, but Chasm holding this sideline here, not allowing them to get into it.
They have to use their Deadeye just to escape. Molten Core comes out onto the point as Twirls is moved in, but they're by themselves. There's an Ant Matrix on the other side, just so separated from the main bulk of Raspberry Racers. With Twirls out of the fight, this is going to be tough to take, but it is a 5v5, and Cloud's got a Blizzard to work with.
Yeah, Kaya has a tire to work with to keep him off the point, though. So that's the other thing into this, and the mine's invested onto the bridge. So, you know, look at this long rotation once again coming from Raspberry Racers.
Oh, Sir Majet either not able to get the immortality field out in time or didn't have it on cooldown. Falls to the tire. Lethal's going to go down as well. Raspberry Racers just kind of getting picked apart, and they're running out of time.
They're running out of time in a hurry. Cloud does have this Blizzard, but I don't know if they're even going to be able to get on the point to be able to get it deployed.
I mean, now's been the best opportunity. It's the most clumped up all has been. Blizzard comes out, but it's inside the Mega Room. Fortunately for Racers, they're able to get a body on the objective and at least start the overtime wick, but
nope.
No follow through. And we're tied up, headed over to Shrine.
I mean, they had time to touch the point. They just forgot about it, it looks like. Trying to kite around and be extra sneaky, so you didn't get really any kind of a meaningful touch there. So tied up here going into Shrine. And now, you know, do we see the craziness come out? Do we see a little bit difference coming out from Doge and company? Lethal's going to go back over to this Farah. I do not disagree with that in the least. They really didn't have a good answer for it. I mean, Kaiser, if they bring this May out here, Lethal's going to have free reign in the sky other than I'm Special.
That's a lot on I'm Special's plate to try to deal with the Farah as well as Sir Majet on this Ana. As Raspberry Racers go back to their dive plus Farah composition. Right now, just kind of looking to surround the point. Chasm thought they had caught somebody out, but Cloud just got out of there in a hurry. Raspberry Racers try to converge on Chasm, but Chasm's able to roll away, pop the adaptive shields, and find a Mega. Meanwhile, Lethal finds an opening pick. Make that 2 opening picks for the Farah. No Anas left on the battlefield, +1 to Raspberry Racers as they move on to the objective.
Yeah, I mean, but smart from I Am Special there to take down not only the Mercy, but also taking Lethal out of Sky. This is a capture point to Raspberry Racers, but it's going to be a very tenuous hold.
Yeah, and a very broken 5, little 2v1 versus I'm Special gets them out of mech, but Kaya returns and is able to take down Cloud in the blink of an eye. Chasm trying to fight 3, opts out of that, rejoins the rest of the reinforcements who are coming back onto the objective. Lethal going into the back, 83 to Barrage. It's taken out of the sky by Kaya's Junkrat.
Yeah, not necessarily how you would expect that fight to go. You would expect the Farah to win in that fight, but Kaya, you know, these one tricks like what they like and do what they do, and I mean that's a big set of mines on the point.
Yeah, but a couple kills go in the other direction. Resident Racer is able to avoid the mines. Twirls throwing in a self-destruct didn't find much, but Sherman Shed's able to get that final blow on a Chasm with a punch.
Granny can punch. This is a good thing for them. However, both DPS ultimates are ready to go for Raspberry Racers. Self-destruct to answer for all, yeah. They're gonna have to probably use that to buy some space and really watch for Chasm on. Oh my word!
Poor Kaiser, never saw it coming. Oh no! And then the follow-up direct on Kaya. Lethal able to take care of both DPS.
I mean, you know, Kaiser bring out the best answer to this for them. Bring out the Torbjorn, obviously Autobot aim, but Gustav in the sky is going to be able to build up a very fast Valkyrie here because of constant healing onto Lethal, avoiding that turret.
Oh, nice stick. Cool Boy out of the fight immediately with Nano in the pocket. Cloud able to get that Mega and get out of there. One last opportunity for Oya to make something happen on Nepal. Chasm rolls in, but ahead of the team. Just needs some damage and has to roll back out. Self-destruct coming through, but not really near Raspberry Racers, who are sitting way on the back of the objective. I think they were trying to get Lethal with that. Lethal was able to hide on the other side of the rooftop. Tire in from Kaya. Moving on to the point. Lethal taken out of the sky as the Tire looks for victims. Finds one in Cloud. And both DPS in spawn for Raspberry Racers. Oh yeah, now trying to move on to this point. See if they can finally get some percentage started here for the first time on Village. Or Shrine, rather.
Well, yeah, on Shrine. And I mean, they invest the nano boost onto Kaiser on this Torbjorn and went from 44% to 84% in a couple of headshots. So lots of value with that nano boost coming out, but it's off the table now to keep Chasm into a extended fight. Servashed probably going to be looking for a nano barrage here for Raspberry Racers. You also have mines from Doge. So it's all about, you know, just taking the one fight, getting the cooldowns out of all, yeah, and then committing your ultimates and taking them out.
Nano boosted mines is actually pretty scary, but it does indeed go on to Lethal. Lethal in the sky, 80% barrage. Sermaged in a lot of trouble. Lands the Salute. Chasm is just forced to watch as Shermaged runs away, and Cloud and Lethal come up with a couple of key picks. Lethal now looking to follow it up with one onto Kaya. We'll find that with a nice direct. Cloud's able to take the Kaiser out of the corner. There's still a turret back there. There's lava all over the place, but Twirls gets two with the self-destruct, and Raspberry Racers finally reclaim their objective once the lava phase. Barrage, just the exclamation point, the dagger in the back, the nail in the coffin of Nepal as Raspberry Racers walk away with the first map.
Yep. I mean, it was crazy and bonkers and completely unexpected and back and forth action, exactly what we were expecting.
Yep.
The fights were back and forth. So I think this is going to set the tenor for what happens today here in this second match of the day. I think it's going to be back and forth all day long. I think it's going to be push and pull, give and take, you know, tug and push, whatever you want to say. It's going to be all that and more, because I know that Aliyah is going to come storming back on their next map. So, you know, we'll see what they pick, where we choose to go. I'm anticipating, you know, an outlandish map pick. I think we might see Junkertown if they decide that they want to go to Assault first. I mean, it's their choice. They have a map pool that's available to them. They can go wherever they want. And, I mean, I'm expecting to see the wild and wackiness not only in their comps, but also in their map picks.
I mean, yeah. I'll be surprised if it's not something unexpected. Like, if we go to Kings Row, then I'll be shocked. I'm absolutely anticipating something wild coming out, something we don't see very often. Wait, it just makes it fun. Just makes it fun. But Raspberry Racers able to kind of play Oya's game there a bit and did it a little better, particularly in the sky. I mean, Lethal was just an absolute madman on that far.
I mean, having Gustav as a tether.
And
just being able to absorb all that damage. I mean, Valkyrie was gained very quickly, just taking that spam damage in from the Autobot, and the turret was doing its job, and really helped out Kaiser get to the molten core. Just didn't get any value out of it. I mean, you sprayed the point with it, and it still was just more ult charge for Gustav, getting a second Valkyrie, and it just was everything to play for. They just didn't have that quite in tune. They weren't completely running on sixth gear. They maybe got up to third gear there. They didn't get the real churning of the engine that we know that All Yeah is known for in the past. So, I think that they come back in this next map absolutely stronger, and we'll see them. We'll see what they do when they choose their map.
And you can kind of see what I mean, that, All Yeah have a bunch of moving parts, and the way their composition flows, they've got to get it all in sync for them to look scary. And when they do, They are very scary, but it didn't quite happen there. I think it was a smart composition choices from Raspberry Racers when they tried to play the McFlurry on Sanctum. Is when they just got no joy whatsoever. But when they're playing the aerial dive comp, they can't get locked down, and they're able to kind of stay one step ahead of in the team fights in these very scattered, broken team fights. Right, we're seeing a lot of little 2v1, 1v1 duels taking place all over the objective, and despite going towards, well, at least most likely, a more payload-oriented style map, I still anticipate that to continue. I think that's the right play to keep off guard and keep them off balance a bit.
I mean, Doge versus Chasm. Doge really won the war of the ball there. And, that's exactly what Doge needs. That's what Raspberry Racers need. They need this ball to be taken care of. And you saw that beautiful sleep from range from Sir Majed, the tracking of the Ana there, to be able to get a speedily moving wrecking ball with a sleep dart is not an easy task.
No,
under normal circumstances. With a one-trick ball, it's even harder, and they nailed it. And watch that. I mean, you said it perfectly. Chasm had to watch as their team was absolutely disintegrated because the disruption was halted by that sleep.
That was such a gorgeous, especially the wrecking ball in your face. Those are so hard to hit. That particular sleep dart on Shrine. That was fantastic. That was fantastic. Well, we do get a bit of a sub coming in. We have some adjustments from Kaya headed to the bench. Ken coming into the game. Be looking out for some soldier, perhaps even some Ginch.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be quite nice for what we're going to see now. So Kaya's job right now is done. We'll see them possibly in later maps. But Ken, we do know them for the Genji, also know them for the Soldier 76 as well. So you're going to have a hit scan player also available to them should they desire that.
Yeah, if we get lethal back on the Farah, the Soldier may come out just to try to help deal with that. Yeah. But, it's all going to depend on where Aya wants to send us. They have their pick of the litter. It is their choice of maps. And I believe we're still maintaining the same rule set from the March trials, where they can choose whatever game type they want. We don't have to necessarily go in particular order, though we did go into traditional order for our last series. I believe they could take us to a second control map immediately if they so choose.
Well, it sounds like we're going to Hollywood, Bull Skunk, and that's where that's the music I'm hearing in my ears, at least. Yes, we are going to Hybrid next. We're going to go to Hollywood. Choosing this map, so we'll see. I love that drawing. Oh man, but we'll see what they bring out of the gate here. We're going to see on the attack.
No, I think they're defending first start. Which means,
I think you're right.
Which means Raspberry Racers would have chosen to attack.
I mean, there's not really a reason why you shouldn't attack, especially after the performance that you just put out onto Nepal. So, coming out on the defense here, bringing out, a little bit of what is expected. Kaiser bringing out the May. We're going to see Ken on the Tracer. I have not seen Ken's Tracer yet.
Yep.
So this is a wrinkle that's probably not going to be expected from Raspberry Racers if they have any kind of working knowledge of and Ken. So Lethal might have a bit of an advantage in the air, especially if they use the bubbles to keep the Echo alive. Running double bubble here is going to be absolutely lethal onto because, Zarya versus Diva, Zarya generally wins that matchup unless it's all right clicks coming in from tools.
It depends. From what I've heard, Zarya gets max value like 15 to 40 seconds into a fight. Past that, Diva actually starts to get more value. So it's Raspberry Racers want some quick kills here. They want to get in, get that Zarya charged up, and try to get somebody sub 50% health and let Lethal go in and finish them off. Nice opening sleep. Lethal gets taken out just as they go to pull out the focusing being on Chasm. What a great play from Carnation to start off this map.
I tell you what, Carnation is ready to kill, and Ken is also ready to kill, taking out Twolls as well. So, your off tank and your major source of damage right now, Lethal, out of the game and back in spawn. So they're going to have to regroup here. I love the backwards position that Carnation is taking here. They are absolutely just pouring the damage in from range. So, I mean, they're not going to be able to close the gap as well as they want. Sir Majed is going to have to be really looking for these nades going in to where the supports are set up.
Yeah, Carnation all the way in the back under elevator, now moving up to the second floor of the cafe. Raspberry Racers coming through main, lose Cloud on the approach. Lethal try to answer back. No, it looks like they're just going to fall back. Raspberry Racers going to wait for Cloud to get back in this fight, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's smart of them to do it. I mean, you almost have duplicate online, but Blizzard is ready to go right now for Kaiser.
Lethal coming up on that duplicate. It's going to be the Nano Boost starting off on to Doge. Here comes Kaiser's Blizzard right at Doge's landing spot. Frozen up.
Oh.
But the follow-up is not there. Lethal's able to gobble up a pulse bomb and deny any follow-up onto Doge. And now the kill's starting to come through. Able to pick up 2 as a matter of fact. Carnation off the battlefield. Duplicate used from Lethal. But now there's mines to watch out for. Chasm trying to buy a little time. Even finds a pick as Ken is able to finish off Doge. And oh yeah, storming back into this thing. Chasm stays in gun form for a little too long. Twirl's able to burn them down. Turns their attention on to I'm Special now, who just gets the heck out of dodge.
Yep. I mean, that's exactly what, last second contest in the ice block there. I mean, we're looking, oh my gosh. That's absolutely dirty, Twirls. Doing the the grab onto the Tracer, make sure they can't get away. That's not nice at all.
Yep, solo grabbing a Tracer. I mean, not a bad idea, I suppose. Twirl's able to finish off Carnation. Self-destruct from I'm Special. Doesn't get anything. And Twirls continues to light up this feed. Able to find 3 in that fight, and the car's a-moving.
Oh, and that's the late stagger. Even though it's a speedy character, it's still going to be back spawn for Ken and the rest that came in there at last second to really put the hurt down and try to recontest the point last second. I mean, and no ice block available to Kaiser now. Kaiser's going to go down in the heat.
That means Raspberry Racers can grab this high ground. Oh yeah, trying to position themselves up there. You see a couple of characters that didn't have to use the elevator getting up there immediately just to keep Raspberry Racers at bay. Chasm trying to come around to the back. It's a lot of damage. Focusing Beam immediately sends them into pieces along with a sleep onto I'm Special. Raspberry Racers now drop into the low ground. Want to fight it out on point. Trying to chase Ken out. Ken's super low. Nice flurry of stickies. Takes Kaiser out of the fight. I'm Special ends up behind enemy lines and gets demech'd. And Raspberry Racers win another.
Oh my goodness, and I mean, the push is real. Look at the support peel back, coming back for Twirls. Gustav is on their rear end there, just keeping them up and healthy through all this spam damage coming in from Kaiser and Ken and I Am Special. They are trying to take this high charge Zarya down. They are not able to do it, and they do, in fact, take the high ground here. Easy cart push for them. They can leap down at their whim.
Chasm dropping mines over the top. The Winston Bubble able to take care of some of it as the duplicate from Lethal goes on to the Diva. Heading back down to the low ground, Kaiser goes to greet them with a Blizzard. Blizzard is going to find a couple. Twirls didn't have Bubble. Goes down. Sir Majed was frozen stiff as well. Doge up on the high ground alongside Lethal are able to find 1. And you still got Cloud bouncing around this objective with the Pulse Bomb. But with Gustav down, I think Raspberry Racers are running out of steam here, Billy.
They are running out of steam, and they've also invested their Primal Rage. Nice tracking there from Chasm to take Lethal out on the high ground. This is going to be both DPS out of the fight here in a hurry.
That's one of the most satisfying feelings as a Wrecking Ball, when you're able to get that roll-through final blow, especially when it was in the air like that. That was awesome.
Yep, and I mean, now it's all about high ground control here for all, yeah. I mean, they just take high ground here. They can deny all avenues towards the payload, and I'm really force Raspberry Racers into them. I Am Special also has this self-destruct to kind of be able to counteract a lot of this work coming in.
Oh, that was a nice boot onto Doge. It wastes a lot of time off of that Nano because they just used jump, so they had to wait the 6 seconds to try to get high ground back, and the Nano basically gets 0 value. Oh yeah, maintaining this high ground position. Oh no, they're going to go ahead and drop down as Twirls is moving in above them with a Graviton Surge in hand. Ooh, they're going to use it as peel. They use the Graviton Surge to catch Chasm and Ken, who are trying to punish the backline, but with the bubbles gone, Twirls is vulnerable to a self-destruct coming through. Still a +1 to Raspberry Racers as Doge moves on to the high ground, but Cloud gets punished trying to come through the inside of the saloon. Now it's a 3v2 left on this objective, and all yeah is going to invest their Blizzard. Kaiser cleaning them up.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just great peel, great work coming out of all yeah to be able to deny the last bit of cart push here in the streets phase of Hollywood. And I mean, you're looking at Lethal that has swapped over to the McCree, has not gotten a Deadeye yet. Chasm has the mines though. You're sub 30 seconds here. So one fight to win it all here. I mean, you've got the Primal almost online. I mean, Nano Primal will probably win you the fight going into this next fight. However, Chasm can really stall this out with a good set of mines.
Chasm rejoin and their friends up on the high ground looking to rescue. Decide the time is now. Over the top, mines are in, Slam is down, doesn't really find anything with it. Raspberry Racers able to rotate around through the inside. Lethal's able to find that opening pick on the kid, and here comes the Nano Boost as well as that Primal Ranger we're talking about. Amazing juggle, but still not able to kill onto Carnation. Did devalue the Ant Matrix a little bit and bought enough time for a Cloud to get some work done on this Tracer, find a couple picks, rally not even necessary.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great save of that ultimate going into the next fight. 90 seconds to get them through the studio here. And I Am Special running super low on that Diva, has self-destruct in hand. So rally will come out from Gustav once they get the full 6 together and they start getting to feel the pressure in from the Blizzard of Kaiser.
Approaching the 60-second mark. You can see Raspberry Racers just taking a little bit of a high ground with their 2 tanks. Everybody else staying low. Self-destruct coming in onto the objective. Just kind of forces Raspberry Racers into corners a little bit. And oh yeah, try to take these individual duels, but Cool Boy gets taken out early. Doge falls back to peel, but still gets taken out, as does Sir Majed, who are there trying to protect. And all yeah are going to win a defensive fight in point C as we approach the 30-second mark.
Oh man, and you want that self-destruct back if you're Twills, because that could have won you a fight. Moving through here, and Chasm is just speeding around, almost has another set of mines ready to go. Sub 30 seconds, both DPS ultimates ready to go for Raspberry Racers. Answering that will be a sound barrier coming out of Cool Boy. Let's see how they aggress around this corner.
Raspberry Racers keeping their supports way far back in this entryway. Chasm keeping an eye on him. Goes in, gets stunned, gets taken out, doesn't even, gets interrupted out of mines, actually loses that ultimate. Beautiful flurry of CC coming out of Raspberry Racers. Now with that, they can turn all their attention forward and try to get this car home. Rally pop, and they're going to move in. Lethal's going to go ahead and drop that Deadeye. You got an Immortality field above Carnation in the back. Try to utilize that Ant Matrix. See if they can find a pick. They do. Sir Majed goes down. There's actually Ken in the backline making that happen. Both pounces onto the back as the Blizzard is thrown in from Kaiser. Kaiser not able to find all of it. Self-destruct over the top from the defense. Bubble expired, but still. Raspberry Racers able to find themselves in cover. Woo! And they're coming back with the picks. Doge with a huge Primal Rage, able to find one on the point. And Raspberry Racers are going to win this war of attrition, and they will push this card home. They won't have anything left in the bank, but they'll at least have 3 points on the board.
Yep, and that's all that really matters in the end game is that they got all 3 points there. Beautiful stall coming out of oh yeah in the streets phase. They got so much value out of once disengaging that one fight and allowing Chasm to get the mines out. I mean, they had so many mines during that streets phase. Chasm putting up a massive performance on this wrecking ball, but they do accede those 3 points. So for all yeah, it's all about disruption now. Chasm has to keep doing this job that he did in the streets phase because they were supreme. Doge was under constant duress. Not only when you had the wrecking ball coming down upon your head. I mean, the bubble does not save you from that. And then you saw the follow-up from Ken and Kaiser. I mean, Doge was under some pretty serious heat that entire streets phase. Once they devalued the mines there in the studio, that was just, full push for them. Gustav holding on to that rally until the last possible second. They won it with the rally armor still attached to them, and that was a beautiful last push for them. So, win condition right now for Raspberry Racers is just don't let them get all 3 points. You can give a little bit of time, a little bit of point progress, as long as you can keep contesting these points. It might be a really good push here for Raspberry Racers.
Sticking with their double bubble setup, no changes. from Raspberry Racers as they head on to the defense. Looking to claim a little bit of high ground. Oh yeah, coming out of the gate with the Torbjorn alongside some dive tanks.
Yep, that's going to be lethal for Lethal and Cloud, respectively. That turret is going to get a lot of damage, and they're going to have to focus that down in a hurry every time it gets thrown out.
You can see the turret just right in front of the door on the left-hand side of your screen there, forcing Raspberry Racers to stay behind cover, not allowing them to claim that space in front of the choke. Chasm going up into the back, looking to punish. Cloud coming in to peel, trying to help out their supports. And it ends up being a little bit of a stalemate. Cloud falling to the ground and into the turret that now has LOS over the objective. Kaiser's able to get the kill on the Lethal as well. Both DPS falling at the hands of Kaiser and the Torbjorn.
Yep, and I told you this turret was going to have to be priority 1 for them. And I mean, they're getting so much push here. And they, like I said, they gave up a little bit of point progress. Or actually, the whole point, they don't even get a chance to touch there. This is going to be some serious stagger kills coming in for all. Yeah, they're going to be able to get a lot of push here.
Ooh, Chasm popping that adaptive shielding just the right time. Still, Twolz comes through, doesn't let him escape. Graviton Surge, 3 kills for Twolz.
And the nano boost also, and on top of that, Cloud's taking a nap on the job here. You need to be up there available to your team, my good friend. But Cool Boy on the on had gone back to spawn. Obviously, it's in their advantage right now. They're going to give a little bit of space here to get set up back as a full 6.
Yep, Raspberry Racers just grabbing a little bit of high ground. You have Surmajet with Twolz down low in main. Duplicate used from Lethal coming in over the top with the Diva, but Kaiser and Chasm able to push forward, clear out the defenders that were resting in Main Street. The duplicate self-destruct will not be enough for this defense to hold on. All yeah is going to continue making progress.
Oh, they're absolutely making progress. And once again, the turret comes to bear again. So Molten Core available to this next fight. So they're going to be able to buy so much space with this. In addition to the mines, Cloud can answer back with this Tracer. And I think Lethal has made the wise decision to swap over to the McCree, not be a constant feed for that turret of Kaiser.
Gonna be Nano Boost thrown in from, oh yeah, a lot of Chasm, but Chasm did eat a big old Bionade, and there gets slept up. Kaiser's turret still finding value. This is the +1 to oh yeah. Surmajet bringing that back. Kaiser's going to use the lava all over the objective. In fact, that is just Molten Core all over the point. There's green Gatorade everywhere. Raspberry Racer's got to be cautious not to step in it. Twolz goes down, but here comes the counter punch. Doge and Shermazed lighten up the feed. And now it's Doge and Cloud chasing out I'm Special, who's just trying to get out of there with their mech.
I tell you what, that reminded me of the show You Can't Do That on Television. Green slime everywhere. We said, I don't know. Well, I don't know how Torbjorn could have gotten more coverage with that Molten Core. And I mean, they end up losing the fight anyway. So this is a really good from Raspberry Racers. They invested the ultimates they needed to, and that's a nano boost on top of Doge.
Doge goes diving in with it and immediately finding value. Carnation cannot jump out of there in time. Lethal is able to get the kill onto the other DPS, and Raspberry Racers content to just hold down Main Street. Nice shot from Lethal.
Nice from Lethal. Almost has Deadeye after the swap in the last fight. So they're absolutely in control of the high ground right now. They're just kind of pushing around here to try to take care of Chasm on the ball, who is trying to harangue the back line of Raspberry Racers, but they're having none of it. And right now, high ground in their possession. They're going to have to watch for the ball, though, because ball is trying to get value in the spawn of Raspberry Racers.
Yep, Chasm trying to get behind him. You can see Cloud keeping him in check a little bit. No, just working a little back cap, but Cloud marking the ball, not letting Chasm just have free ran back there, not to mention free push. Chasm goes up top. Little pile drive in. Mine's ready to go. Yep, and I think go back to the objective and keep sneaking some in. Doge able to pick up a pair of kills, and that's on both supports. No more healers, no more sustain. As the rest of all join Chasm on this objective. Here comes the cavalry as Raspberry Racers show up on the point. Lethal able to get one. Chasm gets a pair before getting chased out. Pulse bomb on the Twolz, gets him low. I'm Special finishes him off. Doge able to get that kill, and Raspberry Racers narrowly hanging on. You still have Chasm here with mines. Kin is kind of poking from the outset. Chasm is going to Gotta push Doge around as Ken moves in and finds 2 kills. Oh yeah, might just win this out. Raspberry Racer's about to get some reinforcements though.
Oh man, this is all to play for. I mean, we're sub 90 seconds now, and look at this work coming in on Doge. Cloud gets a huge pulse bomb though, and now the push is real. Now it's a 4v4 on the point.
Ken able to finish off Gustav on the other side. Wolves goes down, and oh yeah, just so close. 75 seconds on the clock as Chasm falls. Big initiation tool gone. But Surmajet out of this fight. Gustav still making their way back. Not a whole lot of healing as the pulse bomb lands onto Doge. Has to drop that primal, but it's still already in, even with a mega, is only at about half health. Deadeye gets nothing for the defense, and here comes the green Gatorade all over the car once again. Oh yeah, not gonna waste any time getting back in this fight as they're doing it from split push this time. Cloud's able to get one, but Kaiser answers back, able to get that mega and stay alive in the fight against Doge. Chasm returning to the point, able to fight off Cloud, able to fight off Twolls with a little help from Cool Boy, and All Yeah will eventually, finally, pick up this second point.
And they got 2 minutes to do it, so 30 seconds more than what Raspberry Racers had going through their Streets phase. So now they're in the studio, they've got mines online, they don't have Doge available to them because that is a huge kill onto Doge from I Am Special, the tank line, dealing with the main tank. And now you have both tank ultimates ready to go for Oh Yeah into this next fight. Nothing online other than a close pulse bomb from Cloud. They're going to have to really get lined up here. They're going to have to get together as a 6 and make their stand underneath the archway here.
Raspberry Racers moving up to the high ground for now. Doge is going to go ahead and drop and kind of push out towards Mega. I think just trying to do a little bit of scouting. A couple good shots on Chasm. They're able to roll up, get the Mega. Now they see Doge in the middle. Gonna go up, try! Okay, eventually manages to get the mines out despite the CC coming through, but Chasm cannot stick around up there. Can't do the roll around and push people into your own mines. Raspberry Racer is able to retreat back, drop down onto the low ground over by where the objective finishes.
Boy,
Especially getting back and mech as Carnation throws down that Ant Matrix.
Yeah, I mean, they poured a lot of damage through it. Sub 60 seconds now. You do have this nano boost available to keep Doge into the fight and build him up to that primal rage.
Nano boost thrown onto Ken, who lands the stick. Gustav out of the fight immediately. Chasm goes down on the other side, though, as Lethal was able to land those shots. In fact, I believe that was an electric cowboy there in the back, if I saw that correctly. I mean, Molten Core invested on this objective to try to start this fight in lieu of Chasm not being there. I'm Special able to follow that and pick up 1 kill. Just sticking on this objective, All Yeah are trying to fight off anybody from the Racers who dare get close, and they succeed in doing so. And they'll even finish with a 22-second more in their time bank than that of Raspberry Racers.
Yep, and I mean, it was just, you know, an old extravaganza there coming out of All Yeah that gets them over the line. That Molten Core absolutely destroyed any kind of a recontest that Raspberry Racers was trying to do there, Bullskunk. So, you know, success there for Oh Yeah. We're going to go into extra innings here on Hollywood. This now is going to be difficult. You're not going to have a lot of time to build up any kind of meaningful ultimate. So do you pull out the one-shot heroes here if you are Raspberry Racers because they're going to come out on the attack first? I mean, really, you know, I don't see any reason for anything to change from Oh Yeah. Their composition is built to get, you know, just the denial of space. So right now, you know, Chasm's got to be feeling pretty darn good about their situation. I Am Special, you know, swapping between Zarya and the Diva multiple times, you know, bringing out the Diva when they needed a little bit more damage mitigation. They were absolutely countering what Raspberry Racers was bringing to bear on them.
Yep, and with the larger time bank, Oh Yeah, we'll start things off on the defense. Like you said, Special sticking with this Diva here. They just got to hold for 60 seconds looking to tie up our series.
How did that chair get up there? That's just... That's littering. That's littering. You need to clean up after yourselves, guys. This is just... Come on. Come on!
This match is just chaos. There's folding chairs on awnings. Like, what a way to do it. Look, there's TV screens laying all over the place. What is going on here?
I mean,
well, I'll tell you what's going on. Raspberry Racers are choosing to attack. Speaking of switching to Diva, Twol's going over to a Diva of their own, coming off of that Zarya we saw on the defense. Lethal and Cloud sticking with the McCrae and the Tracer. Doge just gonna hold court here. Not allowing anybody to get close. Okay, here finally the attack comes through. Even Doge looked a little confused by that. Like, where's the defense? Where's everybody? Well, Oh Yeah have reared their heads in sync, as a matter of fact. Doge gets immediately deleted They've got Ken in their backline. Raspberry Racers just desperately trying to heal up right now.
I mean, Surmajet is going to be able to maybe to get a nano boost here available to Doge to let him go in and try and see what they can get out of it. But Incarnation with the Immortality Field is going to be able to counteract that. So, you know, they're going to try and get this nano boost on top of that player. Yes, they do get the touch.
Oh, but Doge is slept. It's Lethal receiving the nano. Push ahead, trying to finish off Chasm. Does indeed. That was a 60-second nano from Surmajet. Very nice. Huge. And Raspberry Racers getting a presence on this objective. The DMAT coming through. Subsequent kill onto I'm Special. Nope, maybe Diva's still just up as Ken responds back with the pulse bomb. Ken's able to get 2. Cloud's able to get 2. It's a 4v3 on this objective. I think that balance just got tipped. It's just Chasm and Carnation left now.
Yep, and I mean they're going to get 2 ticks here at least. So I mean, there's mines out on the point. That's going to absolutely be destructive to Doge, and that's going to be the cleanup that they need. But they get 78.3% in a minute. That 60-second nano was absolutely the charge that they needed. And I tell you what, you know, pulling the Deadeye out just to get the mech out of Iron Special got them that extra little bit of work there. So win condition set for all. Yeah, they have 22 more seconds than what Raspberry Racers did. And I mean, they got a little over 3/4 of the point taken. So I think if you're Raspberry Racers, you might want to answer with your own Baptiste here.
We're adding chairs?
We're adding chairs.
Anyway, sorry.
And a light fixture up there too.
It's the top of the water container.
Oh man. I mean, seriously, I'm disappointed in just the wanton littering here on Hollywood. But I mean, you know,
Racers got to be a little disappointed with that result. They had the 3v2, but nobody had much health left. It was Lethal, Doge, and Twolls left on the point. Everybody was sub 50 health. Chasm able to pull it out.
I think Ken's pulse bomb taking Gustav out of the fight.
Yeah,
once again,
huge.
Absolutely, because they were almost up to rally. So I mean, that was the push that they wanted, and you know, Ken answered with the good. So now they have 82 seconds to do a little bit better than Raspberry Racers.
And by a little bit better, we mean 78.4%. No changes from the defense. Ken sticking with this tracer, been fairly successful with it so far. Surmajet able to build up some early ult charge. You can see how they were able to get that 60-second nano. As I'm Special trying to come up the stairs, but I don't see anybody else with them. The rest of did not get the memo. And I'm Special ends up getting taken out by a 5-damage sleep dart.
That's the work that you need to get out of your Ana. I mean, Surmajet was in there throwing haymakers from the Ana. So, I mean, lots of ultimate gain there for both the supports there. I mean, look at the difference right now. Gustav and Surmajet so far ahead of Alia's supports. I think Kaiser, might want to think about swapping to maybe a McCree or a soldier here. Something different because they're going low and the turret's just not getting the value that they need.
Lethal doing a good job of protecting Gustav from Ken right there. Chasm rolling through now, comes out the top of the cafe. Lethal moves up there with the Deadeye in hand. 2 kills all ready for Raspberry Racers, and we are below the 10-second mark. Doge is able to find a kill on both supports, as a matter of fact, and this is looking like Raspberry Racers going up to series point. Remember, there's no draw because of that progress Raspberry Racers got. And they take the 2-0 lead heading into the half, needing just one more map to start the first day off with a dub.
Support diff there in the overtime. Surmajet and Gustav doing just an amazing amount of work, keeping the members of their team up. And I tell you what, they got another 60-second nano, and it was all to play for, and that's exactly what they needed. So, I mean, they're sitting on series point right now. I need to see some adaptation coming out of I need to see a little bit more fight. Because, I mean, it was close as could be. Once again, I just think a little bit of switch. Maybe even bring out the soldier. Like I said, bring out the soldier in that instance gives you not only the hit scan to be able to deal with a lot of damage coming in, but also gives you that pocket healing to help keep sustain up in the background. So, I mean, there's a lot of value to locking the legs as well as the speed. There could have been a little opportunity there for them to get a little bit more sustained into that fight. But as it stands, Raspberry Racers, they did exactly what they needed to do. They full held there in the overtime, and now they take a 2-0 lead here in our series.
We're going to take a quick little break. When we return, we'll see if Alya can make those adaptations and get rid of that goose egg in the map school. Y'all stick around for more Contenders Trials. Raspberry Racers up 2-0 at the half over after a highly contested Hollywood. I mean, it was coming through with a bigger time bank, but they were not able to get any progress in extra innings. Raspberry Racers moving up to match point.
Yep, and I mean, right now it's just about adaptation coming out from. I mean, they've made it very close. It's been very entertaining the entire time. They have had their opportunities to pull ahead. I just think last minute changes didn't come out, and we saw Raspberry Racers really stick to their guns, and on the backs of some hero support play, absolutely bringing up what they need.
Yeah, I mean, just despite the trying to throw different things, Evan throw different looks. We saw Kaiser on the Torbjorn, Ken pulling out the Tracer. Just not quite able to edge it out, but man, it was close. Like, that was super close. A lot of those fights going down to like 2v3s and really nitty gritty. I mean, this whole match has been a lot of individual duels. It's the way likes to play. They bank on winning those duels, especially with the synergy between Chasm on the ball and Ken on the Tracer. But it's been Raspberry Racers kind of beating them at their own game so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think the support difference, once again, is rearing its head in those moments as well. You see a lot of antis coming in from Surmashed, really taking it to them, when they see these 2v2 battles going on with the ball and Tracer synergy. an anti-nade being thrown into the mix is really denying what Chasm and Ken want to do. So, you know, I full credit to Sermajet and Gustav into that. The Brigitte has been pretty darn good as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, how many times have we cut to Chasm's POV and it's just stun, stun, stun? I mean, that's exactly how you take care of a wrecking ball right there. You just CC it into oblivion. And a lot of that comes down to Sermajet on that brig, as well as some fantastic McCree play coming through as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's been fantastic all around. I still think, you know, Kaiser, you know, bringing in a lot to bear with the Torbjorn. I mean, we saw the value of the Molten Course. They just weren't able to build up fast enough with it. And, you know, especially on the attack, especially on first point of Hollywood, it's so hard to get your turret into a place where it can have any really meaningful effect onto a defensive team. Right. So, I mean, they were absolutely singling out that turret every chance they got. And, you know, they just didn't have the wherewithal to get back onto the point and get any kind of contest going.
Well, it's all Ya's map pick once again. This time they have chosen Dorado. We're headed to Mexico, where the stars shine bright and the kills ring true.
Keep it in the heart of Mexico.
Isn't that how that song goes?
I know. I know. It's okay. I tried to make it work. I kind of fell on my face there.
You know, you get an A for effort. You know, they can't all be zingers, I suppose. You know what's a zinger though is that logo. My goodness, that's fantastic! Like, holy cow!
I need a t-shirt.
Well done. Oh yeah, well done.
I need a t-shirt of that. Honestly, I love it. And it's just perfect. But, you know, we're going to see coming out on the attack here. So Raspberry Racers deciding here, I believe, that they wanted to defend. So we shall see what they bring out on defense. Sermajet and Gustav, same support heroes, pretty much the same composition coming out here for Raspberry Racers. 12's opting for the Diva here in this instance, being able to contest the high ground, being able to go down and get some action going on. Looking at a little bit of Killer Queen coming out from with the Echo with the Mercy damage boost. So this is going to be a little bit interesting coming out of the bubbles there are going to be able to keep the sustain up and keep Chasm and or Kaiser in the fight.
Rolling out the gate. I'm special going to swap over to the Hog. As Chasm immediately goes to the high ground, finds Doge and Cloud up there waiting for him. Kaiser moving up there, now putting some damage onto those two aforementioned defensemen. But Raspberry Racers aren't budging. Doge and Cloud are happy to maintain this high ground advantage, and so far have not engaged.
No, they have not. And I mean, looking at Chasm trying to get the knock through. That's a beautiful bit of work there from Chasm, but does not dislodge Doge. So Doge is going to keep his high ground up here. But now here comes the damage in. They're going to have to go back and get some support from their supports.
Indeed, just fighting for every inch of space they can get at the moment. Hook in, doesn't quite land, and then there goes Doja into the back line. That's 3 kills on the board. Lethal able to deal with I'm Special up front, and Raspberry Racers holding at this first Starchway.
Yeah, and they have an early nano boost as well. So, I mean, Doge is going to have no pain here very shortly. Going to be able to build up towards a Primal Rage in a hurry. Kaiser does have the duplicate, though. I'm probably going to pick out the Diva here if they can. Otherwise, they're going to go for a Winston of their own.
It's going to be the Deadeye from Lethal. Shut down by Ken. Kaiser's going to go ahead and duplicate the Winston. Moving up to the high ground to try to wrestle it away. Another kill there for Ken as Kaiser manages to clean off that point. Moves back to the objective for, just like one swing of the Primal. Just get one quick punch in before going back into shooty form. And it's moving this cart.
Yeah, that's a lot of value gained with that duplicate there. I mean, they were able to push and really manhandle Raspberry Racers out of their high ground positioning. And I mean, this is going to be first point pretty easy unless they get a last second contest.
Ken tried to throw a pulse bomb into the alley. It didn't quite stick, but it did keep Raspberry Racers at bay long enough to pick up the point. Little duel in the courtyard between Cloud and Ken. Cloud has the high ground, Anakin. Ken is going to go chase the down as Cloud chooses to disengage from that. Oh, he's just waiting. Look at this. There's a little bait play from Cloud. I don't think Ken took it. Now Ken's going to work around through the outside. So Cloud goes low to try to engage with Doge, who's gone into the back line. Meanwhile, Chasm has the same idea, but has mines at the ready. Finds Sir Majed. Drops down and helps deal with the flankers. You have Cloud Doge very deep. Doge even dropping a Primal Rage, but there's no goods to be found. Raspberry Racers just completely stifled on that defense.
Yeah, and I mean, they get out with their lives as well as gaining the rally into the boot. So Doge is going to have to get some work here to build up towards another Primal Rage. I think that right now they don't have the answer to Kaiser in the sky right now. Another duplicate in as many fights. So right now, they are just getting so much value out of this.
A huge kill on Sir Majed. Lethal's going to drop the Deadeye. Chasm goes down. Find some revenge onto that kill on the Ana. Pulse Bomb went out from Cloud. Didn't really see much effect from that one. As the rally is now popped from the defense of Raspberry Racer. Self-destruct thrown in from the other side, and it's going to be a duplicate onto the brink. Kaiser immediately taken out of that. No double rallies for you. Nanobos thrown onto Kaiser after the duplicate hits. Now going in over the top versus an Electric Cowboy. It's a Nanoed Echo versus a Nanoed McCree, and it's Lethal who finds the pick, able to land the shots. Oh, a nice sleep dart just before the bubble lands onto Chasm. Meanwhile, Doge goes in and finds I'm special.
You know, Sir Majed has been caught out in the previous two fights, first out. So they're really making a concerted effort to take the Ana out of the fight from All Yeah. So All Yeah has identified Sir Majed as a fight changer and able to turn these fights into the favor of Raspberry Racer. So they've really started to up the pressure onto the Ana. And I think that they started to recognize that they have to have a little bit of appeal for Grandma.
Yep, Gustav just needs to hold Grandma's hand back there with that big old shield and flail. Doge find an opening pick. As Cloud gets two with the Pulse Bomb. That's Poe's supports. Going boom, courtesy of Cloud and a well-delivered explosive.
Oh, man, that's exactly what they needed to. And the mines out from Chasm as well. No joy with that. So that's off the table. So now, you know, you're looking at dueling ultimates right now. Sir Majed's going to have a massive a massive biotic grenade to keep the members of their team up through this Graviton Surge that I Am Special has.
Once again, Raspberry Racers taking this high ground, which means it's going to be that much more difficult for I'm Special to find value. It's going to be a duplicate onto the Ana to start off this fight. Nano boost from Raspberry Racers thrown onto Doge, who's chasing I'm Special down. Doesn't even get a chance to use that grab. Gets deleted. Duplicated Kaiser trying to emerge, trying to make a play, but it doesn't even buy enough room for Red. They do get Rez off. Amazingly enough, Carnation pops the Falcon, is able to get that Rez off despite the primaling Doge just trying to batter him down, though Chasm immediately falls, at least shortly thereafter. And Raspberry Racers now have to deal with this contest. The Graviton Surge somehow makes it through, just thrown right at a Diva fearlessly, but the follow-up is not really there. Sir Majed does fall in the backline. Like you say, just getting punished, and the peel not quite there for the main source of healing of Raspberry Racers, and then there's just not enough sustain for the rest of the team.
Yeah, that's just a huge amount of damage coming in from Oh Yeah. And they're going to go ahead and capture point B with 2 minutes left on the clock. Kaiser did not invest their duplicate into that last fight, so they're going to have that to be able to probably take Twolls on this Diva, try to get an early self-destruct and start pushing the damage really hard in on top of Raspberry Racers.
I would like to see a tank copy. Right now, so far we've seen a Brig and an Ana come out of Kaiser, the past two duplicates. Hasn't really found a whole lot of value with either. Chasm, close to mines, tried to dislodge Raspberry off the high ground. Manages to get some cooldowns out, gets a bubble, Chasm going up there. Drops adaptive shielding, mines ready to go. Can't protect Carnation from Twolls, though. Twolls able to find both supports, as a matter of fact. Going in on omission. Twolls having a huge impact on that fight.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely massive work from them into that fight. And I mean, now it's all about scattering the members of All Yeah. And they're going to have to come back at this with another angle because Raspberry Racers, the high ground contest that they've got going on right now, they are not being dislodged whatsoever. I'm looking for Chasm right now to get a good grapple and be able to knock some of the members off.
Yeah, the old boop and scoop would be ideal right here. Now the question is, do you throw the mines up top to control the high ground, or will Chasm try to get people down low and then drop the mines low? It's going to be the Deadeye coming out. Looks like mines pretty much went into that side high ground area. I'm Special able to find Gustav, who was separated out because of those mines, got stuck in front of the rest of the team. And, oh yeah, using this to their advantage. They're going to go ahead and push forward. Nice lead on the Cloud in the back. Somehow, they don't get that kill. Surmaged? Surmaged finds both supports. Are you kidding me? What a play from this auto. Wait, what?
It's exactly what they needed. The problem range has come out from Doji. He's got I'm Special in a small room. That's a huge stick, though, from Ken taking out one of the supports.
Oh my goodness, when your auto is playing like that. Raspberry Racers just looking incredible. I mean, that was a 1-5 for all, yeah. Now everything was going their way, and Surmaged gets 2 back-to-back picks with the biotic rifle and just completely halted that attack right in its tracks. I mean, that was an emergency break.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to put it. I mean, they got all the value that they needed out of that bull skunk. So, man, Surmaged playing off the rocker right now. No granny pun intended there, but it happened.
I see what you did there. I like it. I approve.
Okay. There's my zinger that we were looking for.
We'll call that one. We'll call that one a win. You take those. You take those.
Okay, but now I mean, absolute win condition set for Raspberry Racers. Let's see what they bring out here. I would love to see Lethal up on this Echo. That would be absolutely lethal for all. Yeah. So I want to see some. Well. This could be different as well. Maybe a little bit of the adaptation that we're not seeing from might be on the side of Raspberry Racers, as they're showing us a little bit of a May Junkrat. I don't know if they're going to stick with this or not, but Carnation and Coolboy bringing out the Mercy and the Lucio heal line. So Kaiser's going to have a tether to them. Ken is going to have to rely on Lucio heals and the rest of the team as well.
Indeed. I mean, your Tracer can easily grab health packs. Sometimes as a Tracer, you just kind of gotta recognize, hey, I'm not gonna get a whole lot of support from my supports. Best to utilize the megas around the map to stay in the fight, stay healthy. Taking a similar approach, except all of are pretty much on this center high ground. Nobody positioned on the back high ground near the archway. Raspberry Racers are going to send Doge up top, but there was just too much up there to contend with, immediately deleted. But they do manage to find that pick onto Chasm and Coolboy as well. Kaiser super low, does get topped off with that tether. But it's still on the back foot, and I'm Special managed to get a little bit of healing, but not enough to keep him in mech.
Oh man, this is the one fight right here. I mean, it started out broken, Chasm getting taken down early, and I mean, it's just about cleanup right now and getting the point progress that you need.
Yeah, Raspberry Racers just had the spawn advantage. With both main tanks going down, Doge was back in the fight a lot quicker. Got to full strength, and Raspberry Racers were just able to put a lot of hurt down. Continuing to do so, as a matter of fact, is are going to try to contest this at the back of point A. They are running into Lethal's Deadeye. Defense Matrix up temporarily, but as soon as that gets done, I'm Special taken out of mech. Lethal's going to turn around and chase off Carnation. Doge there to finish off that kill. And Raspberry Racers will pick up point A. Kaiser invests the duplicate late and onto a brig once again. At least pick up a tank and try to stall this point out for as long as possible.
Oh man, that's unfortunate. And they're going to want to have that one back. They have 0 on the board right now other than a Valkyrie. Coolboy not getting a lot of value on this Lucio right now, only 44% towards Sound Barrier. So, I mean, looking at Doge, we're going to see Primal Rage come out in this fight. See if Cloud can pick up one of the supports with this Pulse Bomb.
Ken going in. Able to force them all back. Look at that play from Chasm. Knocks them all outside, but it's Raspberry Racers. They brace for that aggression. They catch it, and then they slap back tenfold. Finding several picks. Carnation does manage to get that res onto Kaiser. It's still a player advantage, Racers, I believe. Chasm going to the back, trying to find Surmaged, but the peel is there this time. Raspberry Racers have learned. They keep Surmaged alive, happy and healthy, and the rest of the team is happy and healthy.
Man, Cloud and Doge right now, they are so firing on the same wavelength right now. You can see the coordination between the Tracer and the Winston right now as Doge goes in. Cloud is right behind them with a couple of blinks and able to get in on top of Oh Yeah and Chasm and just absolutely delete them.
Chasm waits for the jump from Doge and then tries to push in on the back line once again. Sermajed able to get that nano boost off. Bulls is going to get D-Mech. That's quite a yeet from Ken, and Lethal's able to just sidestep out of the way of that. Has Deadeye ready to go from this high ground. Nice flash, fan, Sleep, everything thrown in on the Chasm. Sound barrier comes out, trying to keep them alive in the fight. It's still not enough for Ken. Ooh, nice! The iframes from the duplicate avoid the Deadeye. The Kaiser still takes a ton of damage. It can't stay in the McCree form very long. Lethal turns around, is able to find the final blow onto both Chasm and Kaiser. And Raspberry Racers will pick a point B, and they're going to have plenty of time to work with.
Oh my goodness, they've got Primal Rage. Oh, wow. He invested it. Okay, so this is just going to be to get the last part of point B and put a lot of damage in there. Carnation sent back to spawn quick as you like.
Yeah, Doge not allowing any more reinforcements from the defense to show up and stall this out any longer. You do still have Ken back there, but Gustav promptly takes care of that. It's I'm Special's turn to buy some time off the clock, but it's not going to be a whole lot. Chasm sees that and says, nah, fam, I'm out.
Yeah, look at Sermajed. Almost has another nano available again. Doge going in, taking the maximum amount of damage they can do and get the peel back. And then they have the healing coming in from Sermajed. Sermajed right now is the linchpin through which everything Raspberry Racers is delivering to Yeah. They're sitting on series point. They've got 345 to get it just a few more meters.
Not only do they have that nano, but they have rally to boot. In fact, both of those ults coming out immediately. Can stick onto Lethal. Completely devalues the Deadeye, but Chasm got caught in that tiny room. I'm Special's not faring much better. Somehow gets out with the mech, goes down and grabs the mini. Doge moves up to the high ground, and after a brief entanglement with Kaiser, just falls back down low, and Raspberry Racers kind of give up that top area in the hallway. You've got Gustav in there in a 2v1, and indeed gets taken down, and Raspberry Racers, they kind of split. When they fell down low, they split in half, and Yeah are able to punish.
Yep, and I mean, it's all about kiting back right now and getting back together as a full six and then going in again. You got Pulse Bomb self-destruct to win into this next fight. Kaiser, I mean, you're going to have to get a tank this time because, I mean, you're sitting on match point right now. You're looking at the golden box of victory. They're 5 meters away from taking this map off of you. You've got to get the sustain here, and you've got to get the duplicate in that will win you a fight.
Special Ken and Chasm all in on the front line, and the front line of Raspberry Racers just bail. Other half of Raspberry Racers fall back 4 up top into the room to avoid the self-destruct. Lethal emerges, is able to take Ken out of the fight, and Kaiser out of their duplicate. Didn't see what they chose this time, but they didn't stay in it long. Cloud's able to get that kill on to Chasm and receives a nano boost. This is one souped up Tracer, and it will be enough for Raspberry Racers to finish off Dorado, finish off with a 3-0 sweep in the series. Opening up day 1 of Contenders Trials EU strong with a win on the board.
Yeah, that was filthy coming out from them in the final push. I mean, a nano Tracer is a scary prospect for anybody. Kaiser ended up duplicating Ana as their last duplicate and did not get any joy out of that because Doge was on top of them like white on rice, and it was just done. It was done as soon as they hit the Q button. They were out of duplicate just as fast as they got into it and got no value. So, I mean, smart play. The kite back and the peel back that we saw Raspberry Racers do once they lost that high ground fight. They just got out of there, got back together as a 6, and just went in with their cooldowns and just absolutely laid into Yeah. I thought it was going to be closer. I thought it was going to be a 3-2 map set. I mean, it could have gone either way. But at the end of the day, Raspberry Racers do come out on top. They take your win 3-0.
Yep, and it was just smart picks, smart compositional choices. Great play, particularly from the support line. I mean, and like we're talking about, Raspberry Racers, they adapted. They start peeling for Sermajed more, and it yielded results. It yielded Sermajed continuing to build up these super fast nanos. I mean, great heals, great picks. That phenomenal performance. I mean, I think I would give Sermajed player of the match if it were me personally.
Yep, same.
I mean,
And we're gonna have an interview coming up here very shortly.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that it's going to be Lethal in our interview, but we're going to take a quick break, get that set up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with you in just a few moments.
We have Lethal here with us, DPS extraordinaire for Raspberry Racers. Thank you so much for joining us for the interview. Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. And we're first congratulating you when you hopped in here with us, and you were saying it was a fun match. And so I first thing I got to ask, what was your favorite moment? What was the best moment for you throughout that series?
My favorite moment?
Yes, sir.
I think other than the Farah, Nano Farah, which is kind of OP, that was kind of fun. But on second point, I think our Hollywood attack 2 minutes 30. We went in with Nano Monkey, and I copied Diva and full Matrix Doge into a full window and post bomb.
Nice.
It was crazy.
That's clean. That's awesome.
So I got to ask, how did you guys prepare for yeah, we know that there are a lot of one tricks on the team. How did you guys go into this match preparing for the chaotic nature of what they bring?
To be honest, we spent like all our resources on Koth. We wanted to think what we could do on Koth. Other than that, we didn't really give a hoot. It's just kind of like free, to be honest. I mean, like, you just play your game, right? Don't care what they play, because they just play a handicapped comp on purpose, and we just play chill comp.
Yeah, the double bubble seemed to work. On Koth, we saw the Farah a bit. What was the thinking behind that? I mean, it certainly worked for you.
I think because Yazan really made that team that they're playing with, the team, avoid it. Yazan was the biggest part about it, so it was kind of ironic that we wanted to go far against it, right? Also, yeah. Plus, they didn't have a hit scan, right? They have Junkrat and May Torb, so it was so free for Farah. I could miss like 20 shots and still win the fight.
Well, it worked out for you. I mean, the only round you lost in Nepal was the one you weren't playing Farah. So
yeah, we were
coincidence?
Yeah, there was coincidence. Farah carry.
Farah carry. You got anything else, Billy? You want to ask our DPS extraordinaire while we've got him here?
No, I tell you what, the McCree was clean. You got taken out of Deadeye a couple times with some sticky bombs, but I mean, I tell you what, looking at your accuracy and your flick ability, I mean, I got to ask, how many hours a day do you practice on McCree? Because the shots were clean. I was super impressed, and I'm trying to become a better McCree player myself.
I think I played like maybe an hour a day playing Kree, but Kree is really easy. It's just like aim. So,
just
I mean,
aim
it takes,
for it.
Yeah. Plus,
Yeah,
I had
just
capture
aim.
preset on, so it helps a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you got any shout outs or anybody you want to?
Oh yeah.
You want to mention while we got you here?
Shout out to Slay. It's his birthday today. He was supposed to play, but he spent the time with family, which is nice.
Ah, fair enough. Well, happy birthday to Soleil.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you once again for joining us. Congratulations on the W.
No
Good
worries.
luck the rest
Thank
of
you
the
for
week.
having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
See you guys later.
Have a good day. Well, that was Lethal, y'all. DPS player for Raspberry Racers. That was a fun interview. I love getting a little insight with our players. I don't know. It's great. It's great to kind of get a peek behind the scenes from our competitors. But that is going to do it for us today. Billy, any final thoughts on our 2 matches here before I send us home?
I mean, obviously a great slate of matches today. We saw the results that we kind of expected to see. Still, that miracle map that was taken off of Fusion University by Disaster was pretty huge in the grand scheme of things. Also, it was your birthday yesterday, so happy belated birthday, Mr. Bull Skunk.
Well, thank you.
And hope you had a good day.
I did. You kidding? I got to cast today. Like, it's the best birthday present I can hope for. I hope you all enjoyed it at home as well. We really appreciate y'all hanging out with us here at our opening day of Contenders Trials. Big shout out to everybody behind the scenes at Monkey Bowl putting this together. We got Sensei on production, Demon Druid on OBS, working those cameras, giving you all those sweet camera angles. Big shout out to them, keeping us in check, keeping us looking good. But we'll have some NA action coming at you here in roughly 30 minutes. So, maybe go grab a snack, but don't go too far because there'll be more Contenders Trials action as we head over to the North America region. And here we take a look at our schedule for the rest of the day. You're going to have Malice versus Uprising Academy. Another Academy team returns. Joyous days. Ardor taking on SMC So be plenty more Trials action, but that's going to do it for Billy and myself. Thank you once again for hanging out with us. Look out for each other in Gaming Out, and we'll see you in chat later on for more Contenders Trials.
Bye, guys. Love y'all.